Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Hump Day. If you celebrate Hump Day, I hope you had a good Wednesday, good work week. It's the middle of the week. It's almost over for you guys. Sorry I didn't come back yesterday. I was doing a deep cleaning in my house. It was a really nice day. It was like 75 degrees. And I was like, this is really good to start like watering outside and cleaning the patio, doing a deep clean in the house since I got my honey bunny with me this summer. So I just got kind of carried away, and it just started lasting longer than what I expected. So please forgive me for having to postpone it for today, but I do hope that everybody's having a great day. And shout out to Miss Jalen. How are you? Thank you so much for being the first one to come in. I truly appreciate you. Miss Joanne, how are you? I hope you're having a great Wednesday. Good to see you, sis. Good to see you. And it's funny, right? Because like today is even warmer because now we're starting to get into the 80s. It's probably supposed to be hitting the 90s. I think tomorrow, I didn't really feel it today, but I think tomorrow we're going to be hitting the 90s. And today was a really good day. I went out, ran and everything early in the morning, got my running in, got my steps in. I'm feeling really good. So forgive me. I am barefaced today, no makeup, no nothing. It's going to be very, 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 very casual today. But I do have 3 cases with a possible another case to review with you guys today. So just make sure you're hitting the like button for me and comment if you like these videos or not. Share it out to anybody who likes these type of reviews. Okay. Yes, yes. I have a tank top on today. So yes, it is tank top kind of weather. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, the humidity is so high today. It's like around last time I checked it was around like 75 or 77, but it's still beautiful. Nonetheless, still beautiful. I'm enjoying it while we still got it, right? Because we know how us people up north, this can change real quick. So you got to enjoy it when we have the opportunity to. All right, so let's go on with the first case. The first case that I have for you is a potential sugar daddy. He killed or unalived his mistress, and because he wanted to hide another deadly secret. So I thought that that was a very interesting title, and I wanted to review and see what it was about. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we can get into it. Okay, and here we go.
Hey, it's St. Paul Police. Did you hear what happened?
This is Shane Anderson. Shane seems to be annoyed that police officers are knocking on his door, but his demeanor will quickly change from annoyed to concerned when they bring up his girlfriend, 32-year-old Alex Pennig.
She okay? Passed away.
Alex Pennig? You're kidding me. God.
Just hours before this interaction, at exactly 2:53 a.m., the St. Paul Police Department received an emotional 911 call. The caller reported that Alex had been shot in the head and was now bleeding out on her bathroom floor. Police dispatch notified all units of the shooting. Several officers, firefighters, and EMTs rushed to 260 5th Street East. They arrived within minutes, but had to wait at the entrance of the building until somebody could unlock the door. The caller, 44-year-old Matthew Ecker, let them inside. He was still on the phone with 911. As they took the elevator to the second floor, Matthew started having a panic attack. Prepared for the worst, law enforcement made their way down the hall. They then entered the apartment, and on their right side, a bathroom door was open. Alex was inside, lying on her back in a pool of blood. She had a gunshot wound to her left temple, and beside her, they found a handgun. One of the first responders picked up the gun and placed it on the bathroom counter. They then checked for any signs of life, but it was clear that Alex was dead.
It's fine, because you can see her. That's okay. You gotta keep breathing.
Oh, God.
Hey, how you doing, Rashima? I hope you're having a good Wednesday.
Naturally, the officers had plenty of questions for Matthew, but they started off with some basic
Hey, Yash,
information.
how are you? Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Thank you so much for your compliment. I appreciate it.
First name Matt, is it Matthew?
Yeah.
And what's your last name? What's her name?
Alex Tantrum.
Were you guys arguing or something?
No.
Matthew was struggling to explain exactly what happened, so the officers asked him to start at the beginning of the day when he and Alex first spoke. He told them that he lives 3 hours away in Fergus Falls, where he works as a nurse practitioner for Lake Region Healthcare. Around 11 a.m., while he was driving to his shift, Alex called his cell phone.
She called me.
Alex told Matthew that she had gotten into a heated argument with her boyfriend, Shane Anderson, who became extremely aggressive. She sounded scared and desperate for Matthew's support, so he immediately called into work before heading to her apartment.
So I came here. Help her feel safe.
He brought a registered firearm in his backpack in case Shane showed back up and became violent.
Because I was worried that her boyfriend would come.
Matthew arrived at Alex's apartment at around 2 p.m., 3 hours after she called him. After a stressful day, the two decided to let loose for the night. They headed downtown and visited a few local bars. While at a local hotspot called Camp Bar and Cabaret, they ran into Shane, who was extremely confrontational.
He came to her, they were arguing, and I came across and I stood in between them, and then he punched me.
After Shane was kicked out of the bar for punching Matthew, Matthew and Alex hung around for a few more drinks.
And then her and I sat there and talked with other people for another 45 minutes. We came back here and I thought everything was fine.
But within 5 minutes of returning to Alex's apartment, she suddenly became hysterical.
And then she just grabbed the gun.
The next thing he remembers is breaking through the bathroom door and standing over her dead body.
So far, this thing has a lot of loopholes in it. She has a dangerous boyfriend, or her boyfriend knows that she's cheating on her. You're supposedly her sugar daddy that lives 3 hours away. She called you because she was having problems with her boyfriend. I guess he found out and he was talking violent. You come down there with your gun as protection. You go to the bar, you're having drinks. He follow you there. He confronts you, both of you there. He ends up leaving. She goes into the bathroom and now supposedly she just takes her life. That doesn't make any sense. And the reason why it doesn't make any sense is because at one point she called you because she needed help and she needed you to be there. Now, why would she become suicidal after 45 minutes of being with you, drinking with you, and you confronting her boyfriend or getting her boyfriend to get lost? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Like, what is it? Joanne, what you mean? What my face like screw face like I don't know. It just seems weird to me. Hey, how you doing? I didn't know it was Pride. Yeah, well, happy Pride, Gwendolyn. Happy Pride. Yeah, but it just sounds very weird. It just sounds very, very weird to me because of the simple fact that she was just okay. You came down there to protect her. Why now all of a sudden she would want to take her life? It doesn't really add up. But let's go on. Let's hear what else he has to say.
He tried to plug the wound and apply pressure to stop the bleeding.
I tried to do what I could.
Okay.
And then I washed my hands. And
Then you wash your hands,
Correct. That's why I don't have anything.
and then you call the police.
According to Matthew, he called the police 4 minutes after the gun went off, so Alex's death was at approximately 2:49 a.m. Upon learning that Matthew had washed his bloody hands in the sink, the officers double-checked the sink for evidence. But not only was there no blood, the sink was completely dry. By this point, lead detectives Abby DeSanto and Jennifer O'Donnell had arrived. After being caught up to speed, they began inspecting the scene. Alcohol and prescription medications were scattered all over her apartment. Across from the bathroom was a closet door with 2 holes in it. The detectives wondered if Shane had punched this door during the argument with Alex earlier that day. They asked the neighbors if they had ever heard any fighting coming from Alex's apartment, but there wasn't anything notable to report. The detectives wondered if they could get any insight from Alex's phone, but without her passcode, they were unable to access it for the time being. So, they spoke directly to Alex's family and friends. It turns out that Alex had a history of abusing prescription medication, a habit that started in college. She eventually turned her life around, and in 2019, she graduated from a practical nursing program. She gave an inspiring speech at her graduation.
Thank you to my family for never once giving up on me when many times I'm sure you'd wanted to.
A year later, in 2020, she was working part-time at a walk-in clinic, the same clinic that Matthew worked at. The detectives learned that even though Matthew was married with 4 kids, he immediately hit it off with Alex, so he began cheating on his wife with her. Although Matthew was happy with this setup, Alex called things off shortly after the affair began. Then, in the summer of 2022, Alex reverted back to her old ways, and she began drinking heavily every day. She was fired from the walk-in clinic and struggled to hold down any new jobs. That's where Matthew saw an opening. He stepped in to financially support her, paying for her rent, groceries, and medicine.
See, this is the only problem with this, right? Because it seemed like he was a good guy. It seemed like, even though he's doing wrong by his wife, he's cheating on his wife. He has 4 beautiful kids, but it seemed like, he did kind of feel a little bit responsible for her. So he was helping her when she started spiraling back out of control. It's hard because I'm glad that she was able to, get her nursing degree and actually have a job like that. But when you're dealing with medication and you know that you have a drug abuse, like by using prescription drugs, you need a long time to be around those type of drugs or having access to those type of drugs again, right? I'm not trying to say that you should never be around them, but it does take a long time, and she didn't do enough rehab for me for her to think that she was able to be around those type of prescription medication when she noticed she used to abuse it herself. So I'm sad that even happened to her, right? That she wasn't able to hold on. And it seems that, this is something that she possibly was doing with this guy, Matt, too. But, Matt is just a functioning drug user, like he doesn't spiral out of control. He's still able to keep his wits about him and still able to keep a job. Whereas she's not, her abuse is much strong or much deeper than his is. And, but even with this situation, I can see how this can get kind of carried away, right? Because now me thinking about it, if he's the potential suspect that could have shot her, he was the last one that was with her in her house with his weapon, not her weapon, it's his weapon, right? That he came there with. My thing is, if you didn't need it or you didn't use it, then, why you didn't store it away? Why was it still readily available? Why was medication and drugs, at the house, like out on the counter for anybody to see? And then it makes perfect sense. Like, what would cause him to harm this woman? Two things that comes to mind, and this is just speculation until we get further into the story. But one reason would be maybe she said that she was going to tell his wife that he's been, funding her life for such amount of months and that they had a thing. Or maybe she was going to tell the job that she's getting prescription drugs from him. He's signing off on it. Who knows? I don't necessarily think it was only have anything to do with the boyfriend that confronted him at the bar. I don't think it's only that. I think it's something else that would lead him to think that the best thing to do to keep her quiet is to make sure that she's quiet. Period. You know what I'm saying? Going forward. Let's see. Young Ria says, "Oh, no problem, Joanne. Say hi to the grandbabies for me." I'm glad you're doing good, Young Riaz. Oh my God, you had anxiety? Oh, I'm glad that you're doing better now. I really am. Let's go on. Let's see what else he has to say.
Medication until she got back on her feet. Despite Casanova Matthew saving the day, Alex would come to meet a sweet guy named Shane before the summer was over. They quickly fell for each other, making things official in October of that same year. But according to Matthew's story, Shane became a violent and abusive boyfriend, punching things during arguments and assaulting Alex's guy friends out of jealousy. With all of this information, detectives now had two goals: rule out Matthew and rule out Shane. Since there was no evidence putting Shane in Alex's apartment at the time of her death, officers had to be strategic when confronting him. Curious how he would react to the news of Alex's sudden passing, the officers went directly to his apartment and knocked on his door, bringing us right back to the footage at the beginning of this video.
Hey, it's St. Paul Police. Did you hear what happened? She okay? Passed away.
Alex Penning? You're kidding me. God.
Shane seemed genuinely shocked by this tragic news, but the officers needed more information from him, so they asked if they could continue their conversation down at the station.
I want to know what happened to her. Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out, okay? So
The detectives asked Shane to tell them about his relationship with Alex. He said that they had met back in August, they saw each other almost every day, and were even planning on moving in together.
literally yesterday we were talking about me breaking my lease and moving into her place.
Shane essentially had nothing bad to say about the relationship, so the detectives were curious why he and Alex were arguing on the day that she died. Apparently,
Happy
Alex was
birthday,
upset
Mark.
that Shane was taking too long to move in with her.
So did the argument that you guys had in that morning, did it get physical at all?
No, not at all. God.
Shane admitted that they would bicker here and there, but the fights would never escalate to violence because he wasn't a violent person. But the detectives had a hard time believing this. After all, Matthew told them hours earlier that Shane punched him in the face while they were at Camp Bar and Cabaret.
Alex showed up with a guy. He doesn't look familiar. I have no idea who this guy is.
He was then asked about the holes in the closet door. He admitted to punching the holes during an argument, but he denied that they happened on the night of Alex's death.
That was from a few weeks back. That was me. I was drunk. I didn't put my hands on her, though.
Even if he had broken the closet door several weeks ago, it was clear that he did, in fact, have violent outbursts within the relationship. Before making any accusations, the detectives needed to gather more evidence, so they asked if they could look through his phone, but Shane had conveniently lost it the night before.
I mean, I see that they're doing a whole investigation, but I'm really trying to figure out why they're doing an investigation on her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was working home. The guy, the sugar daddy, he admitted that he was sitting on the wall in the hallway crying and stuff. He said that she killed herself. He was the only one that was at her house. This guy wasn't at her house. So I don't understand why they're really questioning him, because they had to go to his house to tell him that, hey, she's no longer alive anymore. So it seemed like they already believed the guy that was there, right? Saying that she might have potentially shot herself, or she took the gun and she went into the bathroom. And yes, obviously we could see that he has anger issues. There seemed like their relationship was on the borderline of being very toxic or abusive, right? Especially since he hit that guy. But he wasn't the person there. So like, if you're even thinking about this as being a shooting or a killing or unaliving, right? The first person you should really be speaking to is the one that was there, who called you and let you in and said that she she took his gun into her bedroom, her bathroom, and it went off 2 times, right? That's who I would be asking, not this guy, because obviously he wasn't there. He wasn't there when she actually shot herself. So I just find it a little weird that they're questioning him, but maybe I guess they're just figuring they want to know what the whole story is between them, since it's a triangle type of situation, like him, her, the sugar daddy. It seems that that's the reason why. But let's go on a little bit more.
Despite all of these suspicious circumstances, Shane was free to go, and the detectives continued with their investigation. While reviewing the photos of Alex's body, they noticed something peculiar. Matthew claimed that Alex was already dead when he broke into the bathroom. If that was the case, her legs would be on the same side of the bathroom door. But strangely, Alex had one leg on each side of the door. The detectives theorized that the door had been opened before Alex was shot. To support this theory, there was Exhibit F.55, a small metal ring from the bathroom door lock that was found directly under Alex's head. It must have ended up on the floor when the door was forced open, and then Alex fell on top of it when she was shot. Little by little, the story Matthew provided was falling apart. The detectives wondered if the night out with Alex had actually unfolded the way Matthew said it had, so they obtained any surveillance footage that captured the two that night. At the Camp Bar and Cabaret, Shane can be seen sitting at the far end of the bar when Alex and Matthew enter the bar together. Alex notices that one of her friends is at the bar as well, and ditches Matthew to go say hi. But for some reason, instead of sitting back down with Matthew, Alex sits on the same side of the bar as Shane. Shane approaches Alex and begins talking to her. Matthew sees this interaction happening and comes over to introduce himself. He reaches out to shake Shane's hand, but Shane is not happy. Clearly upset about this random guy, Shane begins arguing with Alex. Matthew then steps between them and immediately gets punched in the face. Alex tries to pull Shane off of Matthew before other customers split up the fight. Shane is promptly kicked out of the bar. Not wanting this fiasco to ruin their night, Matthew and Alex decide to hang out for another 45 minutes. After having several drinks, the two stumbled out of the bar and headed back towards Alex's place. After a 12-minute walk, they enter the apartment building at 2:08 a.m. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. 19 minutes later, they can be seen exiting the building together, leaving the camera's view for a few minutes. Alex then re-enters the building alone. Her body language indicates that she is losing her patience while waiting for Matthew. She begins messaging somebody, but it's unclear who. Matthew returns at 2:33 a.m., and Alex appears visibly angry with him. She doesn't hold the door for him and storms through the lobby. Matthew follows behind, shrugging his shoulders. Clearly, there was some tension between the two as they returned to Alex's apartment, but Matthew omitted this detail when speaking with the detectives. With all of this new evidence, they asked Matthew to come in for an interview. They gave him another chance to explain what really happened.
Laughing.
Yeah, so of course he's gonna leave all that other detail out because he doesn't want you to think that he killed her. But again, he was the only one that was in her house. She was waiting for him. He didn't come. She started getting frustrated with him. And I find it kind of I find it kind of weird that they went to this bar and she decided to see one of her friends, and she sat on the opposite side of the bar from him, and he was sitting there. I think he was frustrated from right then and there, like, why you're not sitting with me? I came down to check on you and, you know, to be there for you, but you're sitting away from me. And then when her boyfriend came in and you see them conversate, and you ran right over there to be in the face and introduce yourself, and I don't know what else would have to be said, but then we seen that whole fight that happened, that broke out in the bar. The guy Sean, he had to leave. He was the one who got kicked out. Y'all stayed for a couple more minutes, but even afterwards, even going towards her house, y'all wasn't on good terms. You know, y'all had, there was a little heatedness going on over there. So it makes perfect sense why he would leave that information out, especially if he's literally there. Like, he couldn't run, because when he called the cops, him running or leaving and acting like he wasn't in his house wouldn't helped him one bit. It would have made him look guilty. So he stayed. He stayed and he put on the act that, oh my God, I can't believe that she shot herself. But again, it doesn't make any sense. If she supposedly called you because she was having problems with her boyfriend and she needed you to come and be super saver hoe, then why all of a sudden, while she's with you, she's protected by you, you're in her house. So Sean is not going to come there because you're in her house. Why would she take your gun and just go into the bathroom and unalive herself? And even in the other videos, when they was showing you about her getting her degree, her nursing degree and stuff like that, she seemed like she was a woman who had thrived. You know, she wanted to do more things in her life. Yes, she lost it a little bit, and she went back to drug use, but it seemed like she was trying to get herself back on board. I didn't see, oh, my life is over. Oh, and it's all, F the world. I'm just going to take my life. I don't see that from her. She never showed any of that with all the information that we're getting. So let's see what else he has to say.
Everything was fine.
You guys weren't arguing or anything? There's no fight with you two?
No, between us.
Knowing that this was a blatant lie, they started challenging Matthew's claims one by one. The first question they had was regarding the location of the gun. Matthew denied pulling the trigger, but if he didn't, then why was the gun found on her left-hand side?
She might have it. She's not. Not so it was weird.
Since Alex's left hand was her non-dominant hand, the detectives found Matthew's story very difficult to believe. They then questioned him about the sink. He claimed that he washed the blood off of his hands before immediately calling 911, but the evidence didn't corroborate his story.
How are you?
Right, and then you call the police right away?
Thank you for subscribing.
So, when you get blood all over your hands and then you go into the sink and you pour the handle to the sink, right? There should be blood on that.
There should be blood, yeah.
There's no
blood in the handle of the sink.
And there's nothing in the sink. And the sink is the sink.
That's another thing too. He told the cops on the scene that he went in and tried to render aid to her, and he washed his hands on her bathroom sink. But when the cops got there, they notified that not only was there no traces of blood on the sink, the sink was completely dry. So it didn't even show that he even washed his hand or washed blood off his hand or anything. So it doesn't show that you rendered aid, even though you said that you did try to render aid to her. And then the gun was on position on her left side to make it seem like she committed suicide by shooting herself in the head. But I'm guarantee you, if she is right dominant or she's a right-handed person, she is not using her left hand to shoot herself. She's not, because it's not going to be as steady and sturdy because she's not a lefty. So those little things start to add up, and they start to understand that there's holes and lies into the things that he was saying. And I'm glad that they're starting to, ask him these questions. And I want to see how much he's going to try to change his story while they're having this interrogation. Let's see. Hi, Dawn. How are you doing? Shout out to Indianapolis, Indiana's here. Hey, Rakisha, how are you? I hope you're having a great Wednesday. Hey, Regina, how are you? Good to see you today. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. All right, let's go on.
Rinse my hand.
The sink's dry. There's no water or anything.
No, I washed my hands in the sink. I did.
Keep in mind that the officers arrived at Alex's apartment at 2:57 a.m., just 4 minutes after Matthew said he placed the 911 call. If he really had washed his hands in the sink, he must have waited an extended period of time for the sink to dry up before calling the police. Or Matthew didn't try to keep Alex alive at all and never got blood on his hands in the first place.
Right now, all this evidence does not add up.
I can't.
I just want you to just think. I just want you to think about this and what you're...
You're asking me to confess to something I didn't do.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you just to think.
I mean,
Matthew was clearly overwhelmed by the evidence against him, so the detectives decided to leave him to his own devices to let things sink in.
We're just going to give you some time here just to think. We got to grab that stuff anyway. Think about everything that we discussed with you.
Matthew was given plenty of time to contemplate his next move, and by the time the detectives came back to the room, there was something he needed to get off his chest.
so the change that I have, I did take the gun and I put it in my suitcase.
Matthew said he initially tried hiding the gun because he didn't want to be blamed for something he didn't do, especially because it was his gun. But realizing that this would only make him look worse, he put the gun back where he found it.
I put it in the suitcase, went back, looked to her, and said, "Yep." Went back to the suitcase, grabbed the gun, and put it back there.
Although he admitted to tampering with evidence, Matthew was adamant that he had no part in Alex's death.
I did not shoot her. I didn't shoot her.
The detectives continued to apply pressure, but Matthew stuck to his story. With no progress being made, the detectives wrapped up the interview. Matthew was escorted to a cell while his charges were being processed.
44-year-old Matthew Ecker was charged with second-degree murder in connection with the death of Alexandra Penning of St. Paul. He faces up to 40 years in prison if convicted.
On February 8, 2024, Matthew's trial began. The prosecution painted Matthew as a cheating husband, desperate to win over Alex because he never got over the fling they had years earlier. Not only did he spend thousands of dollars to keep her afloat during her financial struggles, he also abused his nurse practitioner privileges to refill any medications she wanted.
See, didn't I tell you? It makes perfect sense. I said that was the reason. That was the motive, the intent to take her life, is because if she was to tell his wife, that would be a divorce. And who knows if they have like a prenup or something that says if infidelity is, you have to pay a certain amount. And also he was afraid that he might lose his job because he was giving her prescribed medication, because when she couldn't get access to it anymore because she lost her job, because she relapsed, he was still giving her. He was pumping her with those medications, and he was afraid that his license was going to be taken away. So those are the main reasons why I would see him doing what he did. It didn't have nothing to do with Sean. He wasn't caring or worrying about Sean. He felt that he had her wrapped around his fingers because he was funding her whole entire life. She couldn't keep a job because she was on drugs and she lost her job. So he was spending thousands, paying her rent and everything like that. So he thought that he had, full control over her. And it just makes sense. It just makes perfect sense now. That's definitely the motive. We all see what the opportunity was. He was in her house. He had access to her, right? He supposedly came over there to be super save a hoe and save her from her boyfriend. And we all know what the means were. He had a gun. He came there with a gun. Let's go on. Yeah, I did say it. I called it exactly out. I called it out exactly for what it was. Let's go on.
In fact, All of the medications found in Alex's apartment were prescribed by Matthew. Matthew became frustrated when these attempts to reignite their romance failed. And on December 16th, after a volatile night, an argument broke out at Alex's apartment. The prosecution theorized that Alex threatened to tell Matthew's wife about the affair, so he shot her in the head to keep her quiet. They expanded on this claim by highlighting the plethora of physical evidence against Matthew. They focused on Alex's body position when she was discovered, saying that the only way her legs could have wound up straddling the bathroom door is if it was forced open before she fell to the ground. The same concept goes for the metal ring found under her head. The door lock must have been busted open before she fell to the ground. They also accused Matthew of washing his hands in the bathroom sink to get rid of any blood or gunshot residue on them. Since the sink wasn't wet, they suggested that Matthew didn't call 911 immediately. Instead, he cleaned the gun to get rid of his fingerprints and DNA and staged it back in the bathroom. Matthew's defense attorney, YouTube star Bruce Rivers, claimed that the prosecution's case was based on pure speculation and told the jury to focus on the facts. According to the autopsy, Alex's blood alcohol level was about
Sean,
3
how
times
are you? I
above
hope
the
you're having
legal
a good
limit,
Wednesday,
and she had
sir.
4 different medications in her system, clearly indicating that she had a significantly altered state of mind at the time of her death. The defense said that Matthew refilled these medications because he believed that it was best for her, and while it may have been unethical, it wasn't illegal. As for her body position, they argued that Alex could have easily ended up that way from Matthew moving her while trying to help her. They also pointed out that there was 0 blood spatter from the gunshot found on Matthew. But the prosecution had an explanation for this. After Matthew busted open the bathroom door, Alex likely tried to hold it shut to protect herself, but Matthew stuck his hand through the half-open door and shot her in the head. In this scenario, the door would have shielded any blood from landing on him, except for the hand that he conveniently washed. Perhaps the strongest piece of evidence for the defense was that despite Alex's cause of death clearly being a gunshot wound to the head, her manner of death could not be determined. The defense even hired their own forensic pathologist who came to the same conclusion. If 2 qualified experts couldn't deem this as a homicide, why should the prosecution be able to do so? Both sides rested their case and the jury began deliberations. After 9 hours, they had reached their verdict. Matthew Ecker was found guilty for the second-degree murder of Alex Penning. 2 months later, on April 3rd, 2024, Matthew's sentencing hearing took place. Alex's family filled the gallery, eager to share their impact statements with the court. Her friends Jillian and Sarah went up to the podium together for support.
Countless times I picked up the phone to call Al, only to realize I won't ever hear her voice again.
Alex really was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of friend.
During Sarah's impact statement, Jillian looked over at Matthew to gauge his reaction, hoping to see an ounce of remorse. But Matthew's expression remained blank as he listened to the pain and suffering he had caused Alex's loved ones. Mary Jo and Jim Penning, Alex's parents, told the judge why they believe Matthew should receive the maximum possible sentence.
Our hearts have been broken beyond repair, and the future trajectory of our lives has been changed forever. And the world lost a special soul, and we lost our baby.
Matthew's family was also given the opportunity to say their piece. His mom said that Matthew had a good heart and begged the judge to give him a lesser sentence.
Yes,
Matt is one of the kindest and most compassionate people we know. He has spent most of his adult life helping people and caring for people. I truly believe that Matt has so much more to offer to this world.
After considering the arguments from both sides, along with the impact statements, the judge handed down Matthew's sentence.
It is the sentence of the law and the judgment of the court that you serve 360 months with the Department of Corrections.
Matthew Ecker was sentenced to 30 years in prison without the possibility of parole.
You are remanded to the custody of the Department of Corrections.
Following his sentencing, Matthew tried to appeal his conviction, but on April 21st, 2025, his appeal was denied. He and his wife separated directly following the shooting, and their 4 children are in her custody. His family has had no contact with the kids since his conviction. And as for Alex's family and friends, they frequently get together to tell stories about her and keep her memory alive.
So that case was a very fast one, but I knew from clear as day that it was the sugar daddy. And even though I like how they played, like I love these videos. Shout out to Stay Awake, right? I love how they played it off to make it seem like it was maybe the boyfriend who did it, but then we all know that it was the sugar daddy that did it. It just seemed very obvious why he would get rid of her, because if you feel that she's going to tell on you, ruin your family life, ruin your career, because she is a relapsed person who was taking medication, and she can't keep a job, and you have to fill her up with these medications and stuff. It just makes no any sense that you would be worried about that. And then you felt that you was controlling her. So it's sad that this woman lost her life. It's sad that he tried to he tried to frame her to make it seem like she committed suicide. It just didn't make any sense. Like, I didn't get suicide from her. Nothing that she did was suicide, even though some people will say, you taking hard drugs or doing meth or whatever is a form of suicide. It's just like a very slow process. You look like you're rotting yourself until you're not there anymore. I can understand that concept, but she didn't really have that. All right, so that was a very fast one. So I do have another case for you guys. Just make sure you're hitting the like button for me. I truly, truly appreciate it. It helps the channel. Or hit the not like button if you don't like it. It is what it is. Share this out to anybody who likes these reviews. The next case that I have for you is, we have another dumb criminal, guys. We have another criminal who just realized or found out that they were caught on camera. And when they start to go into the interrogation, their lies doesn't add up to exactly what was seen on camera. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this one. So let's go on. Hi, Giaro. How are you? Happy Wednesday. And like I said, excuse me, guys. Like, this is Wednesday. I don't got no makeup on. I'm sorry. I'm not so polished today. It is what it is. I'm going to just have to just let me be today. Let me be. All right. Here we go.
Back in September of 2022, 5 7-Elevens were robbed in a period of only a few weeks in Orlando, Florida. The suspect appeared to be a heavy-set black male carrying a backpack and a small handgun. During the police investigation, detectives realized that the suspect looked like a 7-Eleven employee named Jeffrey Gaston. Jeffrey had worked at all of the branches that had been robbed. During one of his shifts, Jeffrey was arrested and brought in for interrogation.
So listen. This, at the end of the day, Jeffrey, this isn't a matter of who did it. This is a matter of why you did it. I can understand the backstory because I'm probably sure you're hard on money.
Even though I look tired. Thank you.
You walked into the 7-Eleven over off of Popka Island with a backpack on.
No, I did not.
We have you watching you on video, showing the clerk how to open the drawer.
Right, sir. That's me.
That is you?
So you're saying that's me?
That was you.
No, I was saying that sarcastically.
Okay.
You're saying that was me.
We know that is you,
Okay.
Because the backpack is in your car, the mask is in your car, the gloves
Sir,
are in your car.
if you search my vehicle,
Yes.
I used to work for Publix, the distribution center. I work I work sanitation in the freezer.
Okay.
We have we had to purchase a mask.
What kind of mask was it?
It was like a pooch icy mask.
What color was it?
The mask is red.
So that is your mask?
That's the mask you guys found in the car. That's the one that you're saying is in the car. Back of my vehicle, there is a suit that we had to wear. They didn't ask for it back. I didn't return it. My ID is in that car from Publix.
Okay. So wait, hold on. Okay. Homie, dude, please. We saw you, just a little glimpse. We saw the camera, okay? We seen that you were trying to rob a store. There's not that many people who look like you. I mean, you look very distinctive. Like, it's not only just you being a male or even being black. Really, you look how you're like 400 pounds. Okay, you're 400 pounds. You had you had distinct clothing on. I think it's the same clothing that you came here to the interrogation with. They're not pulling this out of their ass. Like, and he really like, oh, but did you see me? You sure that you saw me? Are you sure that you saw? Dude, not that many people look like you, dude. Like, come on. I thought that was kind of funny. That was really kind of hilarious because he was really trying to be sarcastic with the detective. And I know the detective's like, listen, like, so if someone say that someone who's 450 pounds tried to rob them, and we have a camera that shows, it looks like you, a 450-pound man who was trying to rob somebody. I mean, it kind of makes sense. You fit the description. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's just bad. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Hi, Just Play. How are you? Good to see you, and thank you so much for the compliment. Hi, Brucey. How are you doing? Good to see you this Wednesday. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure, Sean. Like, seriously, I wasn't trying to. I'm just saying, we all saw you. Like, come on, looking like the. He had me on the floor real quick, but let's go on because I think this one is going to be funny because he seems like he's a very sarcastic fellow. So he's going to give us something very entertaining in this interrogation.
It's in the trunk area. We had to put on a mask, we had to wear gloves, and we had to put on this suit because we are in the freezer.
And when's the last time you worked there?
This was months ago.
So you haven't worked there since then?
No, I haven't.
Okay, but you bought that stuff and had that stuff for that job?
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yes, that's the stuff I had.
Listen, I get you had that,
hey, Sam,
but you have to
thank you so
understand,
much for the compliment.
unfortunately, due to your stature, you stick out.
I understand that.
You stick out. There aren't many people that are 6 foot to 6'1" that are your size. I'm telling you, this is the 21st century. There's cameras everywhere. Everything is recorded. I mean, we want to understand the backstory behind Jeffrey. Nobody got hurt.
Sir, I'm not studying that. You guys are telling me that you seen me.
Take a look at that picture.
How does this show that this is me?
That red mask is in your car. That backpack is in your car. The shoes that you have on right now are the same shoes that we have in surveillance video.
Just because I'm driving around the city does not mean I'm going to Smith Street. I've never even worked at.
This guy is so funny. Oh my goodness. Bruce, are you okay? Did you go to the hospital? Did you get that taken care of? I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. You got to be careful, Brucey. Oh my God. I hope you're all right. Well, I'm sorry it's lame to you. We don't allow craziness over here. Sorry. Let's go on.
At 7-Eleven before. I've never, just because I'm in the area, that doesn't mean I'm going to. Does not mean
So
that.
what were you doing that night then?
I don't remember what I was doing this night, but I surely wasn't robbing a 7-Eleven.
So hear us out. So as our jobs as detectives, we charge people, but we have to also prove people's innocence. Give us information and tell us that this is not you. Give us
That's my vehicle, of course.
Okay.
That is my
vehicle. Oh my God, Rakisha, how did you break your ankle?
I am in this area.
Oh my God, y'all gotta be careful
just because I'm in this area does not
goodness.
mean I am going to 7-Elevens and robbing stores. That does not mean that. I have nothing against Abdul. What do you mean it's personal? I have nothing against
Those were
Abdul.
your words. Those weren't
I have nothing against Abdul.
Please take care of
Abdul
all
never
the
did anything
ankles,
to me.
all the
So I
hips,
don't have
everything.
any reason to go inside his store and rob him.
So why the same store twice then?
I did not go to anybody's store and rob them. I never had a reason to rob him.
Okay.
He never did anything to me.
So listen to me. Both of us have been doing this for a very long time. We've been working this investigation for a very long time. Look.
This guy is killing me. I don't know him. I don't have no reason to rob him. Sir, you don't need a reason to rob anyone. Right? You really don't need a reason to rob anyone. You definitely don't need to know the person to rob them. Most people who do get robbed don't really know that person. Like, what are you saying? Oh my goodness. Rakisha said, oh my God, hosting your 8 years day. Oh my God. Oh, please be careful, Rakisha. Please be careful. Okay, y'all make sure y'all rest up and y'all wrap it up real good, and you have the your pillow, elevate your leg. Please do all that. But this guy is funny. This guy is hilarious. I think it's so funny. They have literally pictures. They have the pictures right in front of him. They have the video right in front of him. And he's literally telling them, no, that's not me. That can't be me. Y'all really think that's me? You're like 4'56'4". Let's go on.
This is your opportunity because unfortunately, which is a good thing, you're not a very good liar. Because every time we ask you a question, you're constantly repeating that question. And you're trying, that is your brain trying to formulate a response to the pictures, to the evidence that we're throwing at you. I can tell you, it's weighing on you.
Well,
it's crushing you because it's all coming to fruition now. You're like, excuse my French, you're like, oh, fuck. Because our job at the end of the day is also, okay, if Jeffrey tells us he was doing something, our due diligence as detectives is, well, we're going to follow up on that and see if whatever you're telling us is true. Because also think, all of this is, we don't want you to be labeled as a liar, but with you telling us that and then we check it out and it doesn't add up, bro, the credibility goes start down. We don't want that because we want the story and everything to come from Jeffrey. We're not trying to, do that, but we want it the truth. Just think about that. The more you lie, the hole you're digging is going to get deeper, and the more your brain is going to try and formulate to get out of it. Think of this as the opportunity. You messed up. It is what it is. Nobody got hurt. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You're tight on money. You're in a tough spot in your life right now, and all you're trying to do is get money to probably survive. So I can imagine, bro, this economy right now sucks. It sucks. So I can understand.
The only thing that I can think about I was doing in this area was that I get on mega personals and I, look for people to go and see.
Okay.
So that's the only reason that I would be over near this area. Now, as far as going into a place and robbing it, no.
So do you have like messages or anything of the person you were trying to meet this night?
They're in my phone.
Okay. Can we look at those messages? Because
you have my phone.
I have your phone. I'll bring it in here because I want to see the messages of who you're talking to, so we can see that.
The detectives asked Jeffrey if he has an alibi, explaining why his vehicle was caught on camera down the street from the 7-Eleven right before it was robbed. Jeffrey claims that it was because he was visiting a friend, and he should have text messages in his phone proving that.
So all that I ask is, which phone did you talk to somebody on that?
I use both.
Okay, so what's the phone number for this phone so we can establish that? Which phone do you usually?
Right. That's the whole point. You said, Ms. Jalen said he was there because of what? Right, exactly. So your vehicle is parked up near the 7-Eleven that had just got robbed. You said that you went to go see a friend. You could have easily had an alibi if you actually went to go see your friend who lives by that 7-Eleven. You could have gave the address. You could have gave them the phone number. You could have gave them the name. You could have did all of that, but you didn't do that, right? Because I'm not even sure if you had a friend who lives near that 7-Eleven that you said that you was down there to go visit. Like, and then on top of that, to see you in the camera at the 7-Eleven is like, this guy, he's not putting two to two together. It's not really registering for him right now. The picture speaks for themselves. The video speaks for itself. Nobody else did that, so. All right, let's go on. Let's hear what else he has to say.
Usually used to communicate with these people on?
Both.
Both? Okay. On this night, which phone do you remember using?
I don't remember which phone. I use
Hey,
both
Mary,
phones.
how are
every
you? I
night.
hope you're having a great Wednesday.
689-258-2594.
Right.
I'm just gonna leave it flat on the table. I'm gonna ask that you don't go in and start hitting anything or anything like that.
So what happened?
I'm
Nobody's
gonna
be
just
interrogated
direct
at
me
all.
at any time. Tell me where to go. I'm gonna go back to your messages. Do you want me to swipe up to the date? 2 threads right here. One with Junior and one with it looks like a group chat.
Yeah.
Which one would you have the communication in?
It would probably be.
Do you communicate in an app?
No, I don't.
You always use your phone?
I use my phone.
Okay.
Hey, Meadow.
You may have to go to the trash or whatnot.
Okay, I'm just gonna back out
He was
because I
not
just
smart.
wanted
Nope, Brandon, he wasn't.
Where do I need to go?
Go press the 3 buttons on the side.
Okay.
Go to trash.
Oh, no.
All right.
Okay, so it might have been that. It might have been that iPhone.
What's the do your thing?
Yeah, I'm glad that they're kind of doing it right in front of him, too.
Messages.
Then I'm gonna scroll to October 5th. So it looks like you have 3 chats with a couple numbers. Jaden, or sorry, that was the 4th. I'm sorry.
Try the 815 number.
Where's that one at?
7443.
Okay. And this is from October 5th at 12:08 a.m. Okay. So now we're missing a 3-hour gap here.
Oh, that's sad, King James.
Okay. So now, like I explained to you, I want you to tell us the truth because I don't see any messages back.
Personally.
And I want to preface this. I don't want you to be concerned. We're not those kind of cops. I don't care if you're picking up girls. We don't. I don't care. That's not why we're here. So, with that being said, I mean, now that leaves another gap. Do you see what I'm saying here?
I understand that. Okay. But at the same time.
What? So your first text message was sent Monday, September 19th. Then you sent stuff Tuesday, October 4th at night. Looks like at 11:29. You guys communicated for a little bit. And then at 12:08 a.m., I'm assuming on October 5th, judging by the way this is reading, that you said sent and there's nothing else there.
Yeah, because
nothing happened.
Yeah, no, it's not that nothing happened. It's that nobody answered me back. So.
Okay. So
once the detectives show Jeffrey that he doesn't have any alibis, they go back to questioning him about the robbery.
Then a minute later, a man wearing all black, a red mask, black gloves, walks into the store. The same mask that you're described as you purchased for Publix work, the same gloves that we find in this vehicle that's seen a minute before the robbery, and a man of your size comes walking in. Tell me, like you said, there's no other cameras, there's no other cars that get captured, but magically this store gets robbed a minute later after your car is seen circling it, and the same person wearing it all black
went inside of a 7-Eleven and robbed because my car was because my car was there.
It's not just your car, it's everything put together. It's like what we do is a big puzzle. So when all the puzzle pieces, I mean, you're familiar with puzzles, once all the puzzles come together, it creates a nice picture. And what we've done is we've put all the puzzle pieces together, and it's everything is out there. It's there. So there's no sense in Jeffrey in running from it. This is reality. You're an adult. This is what's happening. How is Mama and how is Dad gonna feel after all of this?
I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about you saying that I went inside the 7-Eleven on Smith Street and robbed it. And then because you seen my car, yes, my car went in a circle. I told you what I was doing. Of course, that's something I'm trying to keep discreet. I don't want. And I'm telling you what I did, and you're telling me because my car was in the area that I went inside of this store and robbed it. I'm the only person who is 6 foot, 6'1".
It isn't just this one. We know on September 12th.
This dude, he doesn't get it. It's not just because your vehicle went to the 7-Eleven. It's not just because of that. Like, there's so many other vehicles that was at the 7-Eleven or went through the 7-Eleven. But at the particular time when the robbery took place, your car was there. You were inside the 7-Eleven. You had a red mask on that is distinct for you to wear at your job at Publix, and you was wearing all black. And just so happens from the time when your vehicle was there and when your vehicle leaves, the person or the cashier or somebody calls the cops and say that they got robbed. That's what he's not under. That's not what is not clicking for him. It's about a series of events that happen, and you're there when that incident took place. You're literally in the vicinity. You're literally in the vicinity. You're literally on camera with a mask on. You're dressed in all black, and it happened within the moments while you were in the store. It didn't happen an hour away when you left the store, 2 hours away, and they just randomly calling you saying, hey, we just gonna interview everybody who was at the 7-Eleven that day. No, they're interviewing you because within the time that it was reported that it was a robbery, you were there. Like, God. It's not going there. It's just not going there. It's not going there. It's just really not. Let's see. No, it's because you fit the description even without seeing. Yes. King James said these fools need to understand you are on camera once you step outside. Right. Exactly. Especially at 7-Elevens. At 7-Eleven. And then on top of that, he thought that the mask was going to be good enough. Like, sir, you like 6'3" and you 450 pounds. There's not that many 6'3", 6'4", 450 pounds. Like, like there really isn't. There's not that many people look like that. And then you fit the description. You had something that was identifiable, which was the mask, because you used that at Publix for your job. It's like, come on. Busted. Yeah. Big man robbing is like a hit and run in an Hey, how you doing, Black Beauty? I hope you're having a good Wednesday. And there is not many people wearing red masks. Exactly. It's just crazy. Not many 400-pound men with red masks. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's not confused. He's deflecting. Yeah, he really is. And he's scratching his head. He's trying to find out. Let's see. Okay. I just erased. Listen, like I said, if hi trolls, how you doing? You're not welcome here. So if you're going to just come in and be disrespectful, go see your ass somewhere else. Go do that at somebody else's chat and somebody else's channel. I don't need you here. Okay. Thank you. PSA. Let's go on.
You walked into the Apopka Vinyl 7-Eleven, did the same thing. September 26th, you go to a store over in Altamont Springs. You then go to a store on Redbug the same night.
The Redbug.
The same night.
So I went to a store on Redbug.
This is exactly what I was telling you.
Redbug.
You're not a good liar, unfortunately.
So I went to a store.
You can lie.
I'm not laughing at that because you told me I went inside Altamont.
You go to an Altamont store, then you go to a Seminole County store.
Yeah, there was a mod reset. I have to
October 5th,
redo my mod.
The College Park one, and then what?
All over
Just
again.
2 days ago, you go back into the one on 535 because I can see you walking down 535. I see you walk into the business. You get a couple drinks. You get a blunt wrapper.
I don't even smoke. What am I doing with a blunt wrapper?
I don't know.
I don't even smoke. I've never smoked a day in my life.
One of the big things that Jeffrey has going against him is that at one of the robberies, the cashier didn't know how to open the register without someone making a purchase first. The robbery suspect then reaches over the counter and he shows the cashier how to open the register.
Tell me what person knows how to unlock a cash register at a 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven, there are buttons on the register to show you that.
So obviously you know how to do that.
I work there. You know I know how to do it because I work there.
And you've worked at this store before.
I've worked at that store. All the registers are the same. They use the same POS system.
Wait, so not only did, my head hurts. So not only did he try to rob this 7-Eleven, you actually worked there before? That makes it even worse because you know the schedule for that particular 7-Eleven. You probably know the manager. You probably know who's there at night and who's not there. You probably only know there is going to be one person in the whole entire store, a cashier, and you knew that you was going to be able to have access or get to the cash or wherever they hold the cash because you know their system. That makes it even worse. Like, for that to happen within the time frame when you came to go visit the 7-Eleven, like, gosh, dude, you're really not helping yourself, are you? Like, common sense is really not common. It really isn't. Yeah, I gotta do it from time to time. It's getting crazy. I just didn't realize that some of the things that I had people who had it, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Haven't seen them here in years. Like, what's going on? Yeah, it's sad. It really is sad. Stupidity is real. Definitely. Let's go on.
All of them are the same.
So
they're all the same.
You're okay. I can tell that this is
No
definitely
problem, Brucey.
it's gonna come to you no matter what. Because you can't, you're so fidgety, you keep wiping your face, doing all this.
Sir,
I
I itch.
Okay, that's fine.
I itch.
That's your body. Like,
no, that's not my body. I've been itching all of my life. My skin is dry. My legs are dry. Okay. I have an itching problem. That's why I'm doing that.
That's fine.
It's not fidgety or any work at 7-Eleven. Right. So of course I know how to open the register. So just because I used to work in that location, just because I was there, now I robbed the place because I was there?
So Jeffrey,
of course he's going to remember me. He hired me. I used to work there.
So do me a favor, Jeffrey, for a second. Put yourself in our shoes. Put yourself in our shoes for a second. We have 5 different 7-Eleven robberies. All done by the same person, wearing the same clothing, where their car is
Hey, bro, how are you? Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for stopping by, bro. I truly appreciate you. And thank you so much for sharing me out. I truly appreciate
What are the odds? Like, literally, what are the odds? Like, if that's the case, I'm going to play the Mega Millions when it's $1 billion. Because there's no running from it. There is zero running from it. None. This is your chance, Jeffrey, to get ahead of this.
So you got eczema?
I know you don't want to go back to prison. You don't want to go back to prison.
Sir.
You can keep coming up with these crazy, outlandish stories about meeting people. You don't remember where you are, but we know that
Thank you,
just because I'm driving in the area.
Not driving.
Just because I'm driving in the area.
Get over driving. We're done driving. This is over.
So
you
now,
walking in the store.
Now you're saying that
let me ask you this. Was the gun real or fake?
I didn't have a gun. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never owned a gun. I don't know what you're talking about. You're saying that I robbed the store. I did not rob anything. I did not rob anybody. Just because
you can yell and have all this conviction. That's only you trying to cover up your lies.
I'm not covering up anything. I'm not covering up anything.
So if I were to ask,
because I used to work for a guy, he's never done anything to me. I have no reason to rob him.
Okay. Then why would you go back to a store and take money from the cash register?
I didn't rob anybody. I didn't take money from any register.
Do you believe that money is owed to you?
I did not take any money.
That doesn't answer my question. Do you believe that money is owed to you?
He doesn't owe me anything because he's paid me upon the work that I did when I was there.
So when's the last time you worked at any of these stores, other than the store you were arrested at today?
Months ago.
Okay.
I never worked at the Smith Street store. I never worked at the Altamont store. And I don't, Redbug Lake Road store is owned by his brother, but I don't remember ever working there. It was the store that I worked at the most was the one on Apopka Island, and then the one on Longwood Lake Mary. Those are also his stores. Those are the stores that I worked at, and the one that I'm at now. But as far as Altamont, as far as Lake Mary,
right?
I've never worked at those stores.
So you don't remember if you worked at the Redbug one, though?
I don't remember if I worked at the Redbug.
How does somebody not remember if they've worked at a location? I'm pretty sure I could tell you all the jobs that I've held in my life and the locations.
Because I know for a fact that I worked at the Apopka Island. I worked at the store that you currently got me at now. That's my home store. And I worked at the Longwood Lake Mary. Because most of the time, he had me.
So is it possible that you worked at the Redbug store?
Not that I'm aware of.
Tell us how the pictures I showed you is not you. Tell me how that is not you. Tell us how this is, well, you've already said that this is your car. Tell us though. Explain to us how the person that's going into this is not you.
Tell me how that is me. Because of the size? Because of the size?
The locations, the size, the phone records, the cars, your clothing in the car that matches the surveillance video.
What was the clothing that was in the car?
The gloves, the red mask, and the backpack.
Okay, the gloves. As I said,
you've already explained that. We don't care where it came from. Jeffrey, you're a terrible liar. Get over it. We just want the truth. I'm just going to be blunt with you. We're having an adult conversation here. As an adult that's been through life, you realize lying doesn't get you far.
I understand that.
So it's obviously not gotten you very far on this point.
Because I had a backpack, a pair of gloves, and a mask in my car. I went inside the store. I robbed somebody. You said I had a gun.
And see, this is your brain trying to...
No, I'm just going over all of this stuff that you're saying. Obviously, I robbed the guy. The guy never did anything to me. I never had any bad blood, ill will, or anything towards him. So I went inside the store and robbed him.
5 stores.
I went inside 5 stores and robbed him. And by the way, this is me being sarcastic. This isn't me admitting anything.
No, I know. But don't you think this is a little bit more serious than to be sarcastic in? Like, you're being accused, not only is this 5 crimes, this potentially, you could go to federal prison. Federal prison, 5 times 7. 7 years is a minimum mandatory for a robbery to a business in the federal system. 5 times 7.
That's 35.
Yeah, that's 35 years.
I understand that.
With your record, that doesn't look good, bro.
You're right,
so
Derry.
this isn't a time to be sarcastic. This isn't a time to do any of that. This could potentially be a federal investigation. This is not dealing with the 9th Judicial Circuit. This is dealing with the Middle District of the Middle District of Florida of the United States of America.
I understand that.
So this is no time to be sarcastic.
I'm not sitting here being sarcastic. I'm not sitting here being funny. I'm not sitting here being funny. Just because I was in this area.
Yes,
just 5 different areas.
Just because
at times that 5 different robberies occurred at 5 different locations.
The detectives explained to Jeffrey that whenever he is answering questions pertaining to the robbery investigation, he appears lost and insecure. But when he is answering questions he has no need to lie about, he is confident and direct.
This is what you've done this entire interview. On stuff that you know the answer to, that you're not trying to hide, you answer it.
I'm not hiding anything.
Hold on.
Apparently
with
so.
every time that we ask you a question regarding all 5 of these incidents, you ultimately, immediately repeat the question, which is a tale of your brain trying to catch up to tell you how to answer that question because you know it's going to be coming out a lie. That I know because that's body science. That's your brain trying to formulate something. When he asks you, hey, how much money do you have here? Oh, I got a couple hundred.
And also
hey,
the body sign that you got your arms crossed, so it's already telling that you're not going to be forthcoming, you know. And I do find it weird too, like, you know, you don't know specifically the store in question for this particular robbery. You don't know whether or not if you actually worked there before. But then at one point you admitted that you worked there before. You also admit that you knew the guy, right? And that you have no reason to rob him because he haven't done anything to you. So, you know, it's certain things that he says that lets you know that, you know, like, dude, you had more involvement with this guy, and you probably did do the robbery. I just find it funny. Like, I'm dying laughing over here. He's having me laughing, but I'm glad this one seemed like it's going to be lighthearted since nobody lost their life. Thank God nobody lost their life in this situation. And yeah, I'm glad. I'm definitely glad. The detective are just enjoying this. We're making one hell of a live stream. Yeah. I'm enjoying it. And yeah, he got his arms crossed. Right, exactly. Okay, no problem, Miss Jalen. Let's see. So you're saying I'm a yes. Hey, Brucey, everything good? I'm glad you're back. Let's go on.
I never once did you say, oh, how much money do I have in my account? It was, I have this, or I took this route, or I had a girl in here, I did this. But anytime we ask you something else, your tone immediately changes and says, well, I mean, yeah, and then you're repeating the question that we're asking. That is a tell of lying.
Sir, you're telling me that I robbed 5711.
See, exactly. You've just proven my point. I'm telling you, yes, you have robbed 5 different 7-Elevens. Oh, actually, you've robbed 5 different 7-Elevens. Yes. One being the same store twice. I get it, man. I get it. Money sucks right now.
Money sucks right now, but I work. I don't need to rob anybody.
Oh. Okay. So is that the story that you really want to see?
Money sucks right now. Money sucks right now. And just because I work at a 7-Eleven, just because I worked at a 7-Eleven does not mean I went into 7-Eleven.
I never said that. I said you put the whole puzzle together. Like I explained to you, we take these puzzle pieces, we put them all together. It shows us the story and the picture of what's going on. We didn't just pluck Jeffrey out of a hat and say, you know what, that's our guy. You know, we did a thorough investigation because this has been going on for a month.
I just want to say I just got a notification. Shout out to my brother Freezy, No Captivity with Freezy, for the $20 Cash App. I truly appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting and stopping by. As always, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate any support that anybody gives, and also just even showing up to the show. Truly appreciate you and everyone else. Shout out to you. Let's go on.
A month. And because it's been going on for a month, we've been able to compile all of this information, data, to 21st century.
Yeah.
And where did all the clues and all the evidence continue to point to?
Because you...
No, don't even worry about this car. Don't worry. Where did this... Hold on. All these puzzle pieces, all of this continues to point to Mr. Jeffrey Gaston. And I think the thing that makes it realize it's 100% you, tell me what other person that knows how to operate and open the cash register drawer at a 7-Eleven, you turn the computer around, you put it, after he signs out and signs back in, you tell him, you point to the screen to have him sign back in, he signs back in, you do it, you punch in a few things, I don't know what it is, next thing you know, the drawer pops open, he takes the cash out, hands it to you in your left hand, you take that money.
So it seems like what he doesn't realize is that there's, he's been hitting up these 7-Elevens back to back to back. And this one, they just so happened to catch him. Like, they probably didn't know before who was doing it, right? Because, you know, he had a mask on. He probably had on different colors and stuff. But then now when they seeing this red mask continue to pop up when these 7-Elevens are getting robbed, and then knowing his history that he worked for 7-Eleven before, he knows the cash register system. He knows the manager and stuff like that. And then his vehicle was there. Yeah, they started to put 2 to 2 together. They definitely started putting 2 to 2 together. Let's see. Jeffrey always working too hard. And appreciate you so much. Do what our brother No Captivity with Freezy says. Support if you could, and I truly appreciate it. And definitely hit the like button for me. Hey, how you doing, Max? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Let's see. Jeff needs to understand that sarcasm is for women. Oh my goodness! Oh God! Oh, he has a pattern. He definitely had a pattern. Yes. Brandon said, detective, give me one more chance, detective, give me one more chance. Lord. Yeah, it took a red mask to then. Yeah, it took. I mean, listen, he thought that they wasn't giving him the benefit of the doubt, and they was giving him the benefit of the doubt because they utilized the red mask to identify that it was the same person who was doing this and not his weight, even though he's trying to say, what, are you discriminating against me because I'm fat? Do you have fat phobia? Huh? That's what he's doing. All right, let's go on.
And put it in your pocket. You then go down to the next cash register. Those two are empty because he had already done the drop. Then you walk out the store, you walk back down 535, and your car's going down 535.
I was coming from somewhere. I stopped. I was coming from.
Don't lie, just swear. I'm at wit's end because I know this is going to be a lie, and I'll afford you your opportunity.
Yes, I was coming down I-40.
Jeffrey explains that the reason he was in the area was because he was looking for a prostitute, and he knew about a spot near the 7-Eleven where they hung out looking for customers.
At night, because I'm not trying to be personal, but I know the tricks all hang out down there. Do you go back down there when it's an off day?
Sometimes to see who's down there, I don't pick up anybody, but
do you hang out with some of those tricks that are down there?
If they come in the store, yes.
So let me hear me out. So you get this money after this happens. You go hit up any of these tricks?
No, because I don't pay anybody that's out there. I don't take
So
money.
do you just basically do it off the website then?
I do, yes.
Okay. I can care less. I don't care.
I understand you don't care about that. I go down there, I talk to Aaron. If there's somebody come in the store, I try to figure out, hey man, what happened down here?
I know the tricks down there.
I understand that.
So do you go down there on an off night just to see who's out walking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you
slept with anybody? No.
Okay.
No, I haven't. No, I have not.
But you know them.
Wait, hold on. So he was out there looking for a prostitute, or he knows the ladies of the night? Is that why he did the robbery? Huh? Is that why he did the robbery? So he can, have some fun with the ladies of the night? That would make sense because, his first alibi is that he went to go see a friend, but there was no messages in his phone of him conversing, saying that he was setting up to meet someone that night around that 7-Eleven. Okay. All right now. Well, you know what? It ain't tricking if you got it, right? Let's go on.
Of course, because they come in the store all the time. I work at night. They come in the store all the time.
So on an off night, you still go out there, hang out with the tricks, hang out with Aaron and do your thing?
I go out there, I see who's working in the store. I might go down to the store, I see who's working in the store. Hey man, what's going on? Sit there, drink, talk a little bit. And if they come in the store, they come in the store. Yeah, you say here and that. Okay, hey, yeah, you this, you that. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But as far as taking money and going to trick with them, no, I don't do that.
So how do you pay for your tricking?
It depends. Sometimes when I'm talking online, if the price is low.
Right.
Okay.
So what's your lowball price then?
$20, $25. Most of the people that I'm talking to on my phone, I ask them, hey,
Mary,
I got 20, will you do something for that?
Yeah.
25, whatever.
Okay.
Sometimes 30.
And so when money's tough and you're trying to pay for groceries and things like that.
Not if
and
it ain't
obviously
tricking
groceries,
7-Eleven
you want to be eating first before dealing with that. So when you don't have enough money, where are you getting money to get these girls from?
I always keep, that's the reason for my pawns. That's
so
the
you'll
reason why
pawn
I
everything. So when you have these pawn debts, how do you get the money then? So you
every time I get paid, I pay a little bit here, a little bit there on my pawn debt.
And then that leaves you enough for, I'm assuming, gas.
So yeah, he's just literally. I wish he would have just been quiet because he just really just blown his cover, because now it shows perfect sense why he would do those kind of robberies, even though he has a job. Because if you're pawning stuff so you can spend time with the ladies of the night, because whatever their price is out of your budget, you know, whatever you pawn, you trying to get it back. You have to pay back the money to get back the item, and you have to pay an interest. So where are you getting that money from? You know, since if you're in a situation where you're always coming up short and you don't have enough to pay for the ladies of the night, it makes perfect sense why you would do that and what area you're doing it. Because if these are the areas that those same ladies of the night is going into 7-Eleven to get something to eat, get something to drink or whatever not, and those are the ones you're hanging around with, and you scope around the area to see they're there, it would make sense where you think that you could just go in there, you know, hit up a couple of dollars, you work for them before, and, you know, and go spend some time. Dang, boy. It shouldn't be that bad, though. It shouldn't be that bad, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, seriously. No, he gets it up. I thought it was minimum was 40. Look, I don't know. Maybe the market changed, I guess. I don't know. I'm not in that industry. Maybe the market changed for that. I don't see how any man will want to lay with a girl who just slept with another man 10 minutes before you. Brucey, you would be surprised that, you know, a lot of people don't care, you know, just, you know, stick their thing in anything. He's not lacking grocery money. God darn it, Mr. MC. Terry said, "Oh, my man needed money for some." Yes, lady. We call them ladies of the night. Ladies of the night. Okay. All that charisma is nothing without. I guess he needed Uchi coupons. Oh no, not the Uchi coupons. Oh my goodness. Wants me to ask, will you see? Oh, okay. Let's see what's going on. Hey, boss, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's go on. Yeah, bro, it shouldn't be that hard though, right? Like, there's so many other dudes, you know, who don't have to go to that extreme. But let's go on. Let's go on.
Yes.
And then that leaves you money for some groceries.
Whenever I get
so
paid.
hold on. So that leaves you. So when you get paid, you'll take care of a few pawn debts here and there. You obviously have to put gas in your car. You have to put food on the table. Do you pay for your car insurance?
That is true, Yui.
Yes.
I understand.
Okay, so you pay for your car
I
insurance.
Understand. But not to the point where you're going to risk your freedom,
for clothing,
though, like,
whatever, gas, because gas is ridiculous right now. So that probably leaves you a minimal amount of money.
Not open and easy. Oh, goodness.
So with that,
mama.
I mean, I can see why you're trying to get extra money, because you don't have enough money to, you know, to do your thing. That's just how it is. That's how I'm reading in the room. And I think that's the truth.
That's not the truth.
Okay.
Then why?
Whenever I get paid.
Okay.
Whenever I get paid, I always make sure I take care of my needs first.
Absolutely.
Which is, if I have, you know, some groceries I got to put in the house, that's fine. If I have some gas, that's fine. If I have, you know, whatever here and there, taken care of. I have a pawn debt here. I have my insurance here. I have my car insurance here. I have my phone here. I have my internet here. Whatever. I take care of all of that. I pay bits and pieces of that. As far as taking money to go do whatever, yes.
But hear me out. So all of those things, I can only imagine how stressful that is. You probably get your paycheck and you're like, shit, what can I pay first? Okay, obviously I need food, so I'm going to pay for food. Next is like, well, shit, I got like a couple of different pawn debts here and there that probably leave you with minimal amount of money. So explains why you had the letters of like, money is tough.
Yeah, so what I do is I pawn things to get the money to pay for whatever. Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right. So you just have this ever like circle. Money, pay, I need more money, pay. Get paid, just this ever evolving circle. hey, I want to, this girl I'm talking to, she wants 25, 30 bucks. Okay, cool. Well, shit, I only got 10 bucks after I spent all my money. I need extra money. Okay, well, here we go. Here's the circle again. Oh, I got paid. So look, man.
Hey, Elizabeth, how
It's
you
gonna
doing?
come to you.
Good
It's
to
gonna
see you
one
again.
morning.
Shout out
It
from
could be right now,
Kansas.
or it could be
Everything's
tomorrow.
well
It could
with
be
you
the next
there.
day. This whole thing is gonna smack you right in the face, and you think, "Oh, frig, I messed up. Jeffrey Gaston messed up." And you know what? How can I get myself out of this? How can I?
Yeah, but he doesn't understand. Like, you think that you're just channeling between debt and debt. That's the play, right? You're putting yourself more in debt. Those pawn shops, you have to pay interest. So you're paying more than what they gave you or you borrowed, right? So unless you actually have it, unless your paycheck can actually cover it, where you don't have to continue to pawn something or take out a payday loan, you're going to just continue to build up in debt. That's just how that works. That's the scam, right? None of that really helps you. None of it. So yes, it makes perfect sense why you think that if I go hit a couple of 7-Elevens and stuff like that, I should be in the clear, or maybe I can at least stop pawning shit. But clearly you don't make enough money to purchase a lady of the night, or the type of lady of the night that you're trying to purchase. I mean, that's what it really is, right? It's the type of lady that you're trying to purchase. Whoever you're going to, she charges out of your out of your income bracket. It is what it is. But this is not a good idea. Like this, I would never tell somebody to do this, right? Because now here is your freedom on the line. How did that benefit you at the end of the day? It didn't. It doesn't benefit you. So I wish he didn't do that. I wish he really didn't do that. And Miss Elizabeth said, "I'm a little cray-cray." Oh, no, you're not cray-cray. You're not cray-cray at all. Thank you, Bama boy. I truly appreciate you. Let's finish this up. Let's see what else he has to say. I'll say one thing, that these detectives are very understanding of this guy. They're really not trying to shit on him, and they just like, yo, man, come on, like, this is not what it is. I understand that you probably in a fucked up situation, and I understand you have quote unquote needs and all the stuff like that, but really going to prison for this is not really worth it. Like, they're trying to get him to understand that it's not really worth it. You throwing away your life like this. You know what I'm saying? Because even once you go into prison for something like this, coming out is going to be harder. You probably won't even, I don't even know what type of job you can possibly get after this, right? Like, I really don't. I mean, maybe a dishwasher job, maybe some form of server job, if anything, if they even decide to do that. But, when it comes down to robberies, you can't be around money. It's not, you can't be a banker, you can't be a cashier, you can't be around money like that at all. So everything is going to just be manual labor type of jobs where you're going to be busting and breaking your back. It's just unfortunate, really. Especially with this guy. But let's go on. Let's hear what he has to say.
I get myself out of this, because I don't want to hear that it's your car, it's you, it's this. It's everything. It is everything. And we see the backstory.
He'll get laid for free in prison, Mary.
What's the easiest place to go? I know there's only one person or maybe two people working at 7-Elevens. You're familiar with those locations, and that's why you're going there. And that's why it's happening. And you're probably taking that extra money to hopefully probably pay for the food bill,
Amazon
the internet
hires
bill, the phone
everybody
bill,
and anybody, right?
So you can still enjoy your life a little bit. That's what's happening. That I know for a fact is happening.
That's not happening.
Okay.
Right, that's true. Yeah, they do.
So tell me where I'm wrong in that.
Where you're wrong in that is that you're saying that I'm taking money from 7-Elevens and going to and using it.
There you are. You just repeated my entire question.
Yeah, you're saying that I'm taking it and using it for everyday expenses when I use my paycheck and going to pawn things
Yeah, he could do
for
that,
everyday
Brandon. You're
expenses. So
correct.
I have most of all of my items, most of everything I own is in the pawn shop for that reason. Not so I can go to a bunch of places and take money from them, so that I can keep from taking money from somebody.
About how much pawn debt do you think you have in total?
Quite a bit.
Like, rough number? Couple thousand?
Couple thousand.
Okay.
Because of the insurance that accrues, not insurance, but
the interest
that accrues on it.
So you're constantly taking money to pay down those debts, correct? Okay.
Jeffrey doesn't realize that he's digging himself a deeper hole by admitting to not only having bills to pay, but also having to pay for all the items he recently pawned. Based on the evidence provided, it appears that Jeffrey may have been paying for sex, and when he ran out of items to pawn, he decided to rob his employer.
This is just stress. Like, I could only imagine trying to juggle and balance all that when you're only getting paid weekly, and it's probably not enough for what you're doing.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to other places and robbing them.
It definitely shows a motive.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to places and robbing them.
So then tell me, why are you getting the money?
Getting the money from where? I'm getting the money from work. I'm getting the money from my pawn debts. From pawning things, you know. But getting the money from where? Besides work and pawning things.
This isn't gonna go away. You know that, right?
I'm being charged, if you said, for 5 different robberies.
Correct.
With what gun? With what gun?
We can see it in the video. The first one on 535, the victim tells us bangs you bring it on tap.
I don't own a gun. And you search my car and you find no gun. I don't have a gun.
Okay, so are you implying that you have a gun?
No, I don't have a gun.
I'm in agreement.
Ever had a vehicle. Never ever had a gun.
Right?
I don't have a gun, period, whether real or fake. I don't have a gun.
So then what is it? What's being used?
I haven't used anything.
Look,
No, I haven't used anything. I don't even know what you're saying that I robbed this place with a gun.
Yes.
Or a fake gun.
Yes.
Or I don't have none of these things. I've never owned a gun. I've never been able to own a gun.
Okay.
I don't have a fake gun. I don't have a toy gun. I don't have any of that.
And it's easy to dispose of guns.
Right. So I just threw it away.
I don't know.
Yeah, they cut it up in here.
I don't know.
I just threw it away.
I mean, on video, you can clearly see in the one from 2 days ago, you pull it out of your right hoodie, you flash it at him, and then put it back. It's covered in some sort of black bag, or I don't know if that's just you implying that you had one. Then you put it back. He turns around, gets you something off the wall. As soon as he turns around.
I did not go inside of a 7-Eleven and work the register. I know how to work a 7-Eleven register because I work at 7-Eleven. So all of the POS systems in 7-Eleven are the same. There may be a couple of items out of place, but as far as totaling out the cost, everything is the same.
So listen here. So, okay, with you saying that, hear me out. So at the end of the day, all of this gets drafted up into a big report. And like I said, this is actually going to be a federal investigation. With that being said, all of the evidence, everything that we've compiled within the month-long investigation between 4 different agencies gets all compiled into this big report. This interview currently is being audio and video recorded, which is considered as part of this case. So when the attorneys and the people that are above our pay grade, they review everything like, oh, okay, that's, yep. They put the puzzle together, and then they watch this, and then they hear and listen to all of these crazy, outlandish lies and just see this. When that goes to, if you decide to go to trial, and when it does, this is all played in court, and your credibility in front of a jury goes down. I don't want to hear any BS more stories. I'm done. If you want to tell us the truth and what happened, I am all ears and to have a discussion with you. But if I have to hear another outlandish, crazy thing of you trying to formulate of how you weren't there, but when we know you are there, then I'm done.
I'm being charged with 5 robberies because I have cash in my car, because I work for 7-Eleven, because I was driving my car and my phone pinged in an area. That's why I'm being charged?
Yeah, it started a long time ago.
In the end, Jeffrey would be charged with 5 armed robberies. In total, he stole a little over $1,000. After realizing he didn't want to risk taking the case to trial, he accepted a plea deal for 7 years. Jeffrey's release date is set for sometime in 2029. What are your thoughts on this case? Please share them in the comments below.
Jeffrey, you should have just went on ahead and just gotten you a lawyer and be quiet. You probably could have got you a lawyer that could have talked it down to like at least 4 years instead of 7 years. But Jeffrey, you can't be out here stealing from 7-Eleven for some ladies of the night time, man. Like, you can't be doing stuff like that, man. Like, poor Jeffrey, man. Like, he really just thought that by continuing to answer his question with a question was the right mode, but it really wasn't. Once you gave them the motive, it was a wrap, because now they understood why you was doing it. They already knew that you worked for a 7-Eleven before, that you had access to these chains before. They seen your vehicle. They probably seen you pick up the ladies of the night before, right? But even then, the detective said that they're not here for that. They're not here to get you for prostitution. That's not what they're here for, right? They're here for these string of robberies, and it just so happened that in these string of robberies, different location, but the same franchise, you're there supposedly when these stores are being robbed. It's like, come on, Jeffrey, man. It's like, but he can't be doing that, Jeffrey. So he's supposed to be getting out 2029. He got 4 more years. I hope, Jeffrey, you learn your lesson and you don't do that shit no more. Don't do that no more, Jeffrey. Don't do it no more. Don't do it no more, Jeffrey. Absolutely not. No. They said that is why when they say Miranda rights, anything you can and will be held against you. Right. Yes, exactly. Like, and it will. Like, and the funny thing about it is he's lucky that they just talking about this robbery. They ain't even talking about prostitution, because I'm not even sure what state it is, but I'm sure it's not a state that prostitution is legal, right? So, oh no, Miss Jalen. Oh my God, is Flower here? I can't see her. Hi. Oh, hi, Flower. How you doing? It's good to see you. I hope you're having a great Wednesday, ma'am. How are you? You just came in. Let's see. Brucey says, fun fact, when you say you want a lawyer, shut up. Because as soon as you say anything else, it throws that request out the window. Right. That is true. Exactly. Yeah. Yes, talk to a lawyer. You get a lawyer. Like, he could have got a better time. All right, so I do have another case for you guys. Make sure you're hitting the like button for me. Truly, truly appreciate it. Share this out to anyone who likes these reviews. I'm glad that we was able to get some soft ones in there, some laughable ones in there, because, you know, I hate the ill gloom and sad ones a lot, especially the ones that deal with children. Oh, that irks my nerves. So I'm glad that we can have a little one that's a little bit more on a lighter note, right? So the next case that I have for you guys today is a suspect. He kind of understands that these cops are not buying into his lies. I think he had possibly unalived a man, and this man might have something to do with his significant other, his partner. So I wanted to look into this, because you know that these people tend to believe that they're smarter than the average bear, and we see that they usually tell on themselves during these interrogations. So let's go on. Let me pull up my screen and then we can talk about it. Here we go.
This is 34-year-old Bernardo Mendez. Back in 2015, one of Bernardo's family members called the police, claiming that Bernardo had been bragging about killing a man for disrespecting him. The victim's name was Herbert Featherhoff, and the police were able to locate his body in an abandoned apartment building. The cause of death appeared to be blunt force trauma to the head.
We've got a death here in Lubbock that you're responsible for. And, we want to give you the opportunity to explain your side, okay? A lot of times people get involved in altercations, get involved in disputes, and something is triggered by that, The fight happens and then it's over, and 2-3 days later somebody dies from their injuries, okay? Sometimes people don't mean things to happen, but they do happen, okay? There are certain things that have happened, and that's the reason why you're here, and that's the reason why we're here, okay?
Like Detective Martinez just said, obviously you're here for a reason. And they told you on scene that you had a murder warrant. Now is your time to let us know what took place that day.
What day was that? Because to tell you the truth, I haven't hurt nobody or hit nobody, I've been with my girl Erica, we've been going back and forth. We stayed like at her uncle's house. That's like her family and stuff. They stay there. Then she'll stay sometimes, her parents sometimes will go stay at the villa, whatever. And then after that we went to Tent City, and then we've been going on the bus, we've been living together, and we've been going sometimes with her mom. It's not like a mom, it's like a lady, go help her and all that. We're always going in to go eat. Then I finally got a job, and I'll be going to Odessa. A friend got me a job, so I've been trying to get all my Social Security, birth certificate, everything, so I can do my income.
We're not here because we're fishing for information, okay? We don't get an arrest warrant for anyone just because we feel like bringing someone in, okay?
Well, thank you, Brucey. I truly appreciate it.
We're here for a reason, okay? This has to do with an altercation that you had at the Villa del Norte Apartments. That was you, and you were there. You can tell me your side if you have a side to tell me, but I'm not asking if you were there. I know you were there, okay? I'm not asking if it was you that was involved in that. I know that it was you. What I want to know is if this man did something, to provoke you, or if he said something to you, or he did something to you that caused the problem, that's what I'd like to hear from you.
I didn't do nothing to him. My girl would tell you, I didn't mess with him. I didn't do nothing.
Where do you know him from?
I don't know him. I promise.
Why were you involved in a problem with him? Why were you involved in an altercation with him?
I'm saying the truth. I was not involved. I would never do stuff like that, but it's alright,
It's sad because they always have, like, in some of these suspects, I won't say all of them, but a lot of them, they have this dumbfounded look on their face when they're being brought up about the situation. And it's like, they already know that you were there, right? They have some form of surveillance, some form of camera, probably DNA, right? If you left the weapon there, there's something why they have to interview, right? To get more information. And this detective clearly told him that, listen, we're not asking you if you were there, or did you see a incident take place? We know that you were there. And then he also said, listen, we know that you did it. So this is your time and your opportunity. If you want to speak to us, you could tell us your side, or you could just have us collect the evidence and we'll present it to the prosecutor to tell them what the story really is. Your choice. So to me, it's either you keep your mouth closed and you go get legal counsel, or if anything, go ahead and just tell the truth then at this point. Why did you hit this guy in the head? Why did you do this? Like, what was the reason behind it? Did he provoke you? Did he mess with your girl? Did you try to rob him? Like, what happen. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to speak. But this whole dumbfounded look like you know, like you don't even know what this person is saying to you or what he's talking about, it gives off the wrong impression to the detectives, because it already leads to believe that they're not going to get anything out of you that is the truth. And then that's going to be hard, because when you do want to tell the truth, they're not going to believe you because you're already starting out lying. I mean, do we all usually continue to believe a liar once we know that you're a liar? We tend to really don't do that. Let's see. I wish I started watching this one from. This is somewhat the beginning, Valisa. This is the beginning. They said he was bragging to his family about the murder. Right, exactly. Like, again, like you was tough on it. You was, oh, I feel good. You know, I did this to someone. So now all this, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Me and my girl, we be helping everybody. This is not really her mom, but we take this old lady to the grocery store. See how, you know, charming and gentleman I'm like and stuff like that. Come on now. They told him that he was not there by chance. No, like they said that you were there. You know what I'm saying? Like he keep on saying that he doesn't even know what they're talking about. Jamie said, keep your mouth shut and get a lawyer. I agree. You know, keep your mouth shut and just get a lawyer. You know, and if you can't afford one, you know, they have, you know, the public one. I mean, they're not the best, but at least there's something, right? Let's go on.
I'm gonna keep fighting for it because it ain't me. You know, I'm not a person who just.
Well, you are in custody for it, and you are in custody for it because it is you. We know it is you. I'm not asking you to tell me whether you did or you didn't. What I'm interested in knowing is what happened that triggered this problem. Okay.
Bernardo is noticeably nervous as he denies knowing who his victim was. The detectives explain that they have Bernardo and Herbert talking with each other on surveillance footage at a local Walmart. When Bernardo hears this, he admits to speaking with Herbert, but it was a friendly and brief conversation.
Right. Well, I really don't know about him that much, you know? Just that time when he just talked to us and that was it, you know?
There was more than that, Vinny. There was more than that. There was more than that, Vinny. There's more than just that conversation at one time. There was more than that. You know it and I know it. Okay, there was more than that. I'm not interested in the conversation. I'm not interested in the nice guy stuff. You know, I'm interested in knowing what led to this man being assaulted, or what led to you and him fighting.
Flower, just
That's what I'm interested in knowing.
Right?
See, we didn't fight. He didn't jump on me and I didn't do nothing to him. You know, we didn't end up together. You know.
Yeah, you did, Vinny. Yeah, you did. Like I said, it's not debatable. That's not what I'm here to debate with you. You know, I'm not saying this man was a saint, but I know you ain't a saint. I know that for a fact. And so, don't try to sell me that story that you hear poor little Mr. Innocent Benny that does nobody wrong and all he does is take care of his girl. I know better. I've been around a long time, a lot longer than that. So don't waste time trying to sell me that story. I want us to talk about what really matters here. And what really matters here is that altercation that took place between y'all.
I've been saying the whole thing. I don't know what y'all want to know. I'm saying
we want to know what caused the problem. We want to know what caused Benny to get mad at this man and assault him.
See, I didn't.
That's what I want to know. You just do it for fun. You do it just without being mad, without needing to defend yourself, without needing to protect anyone, without needing to take anything from anyone. You just do it just.
I don't take nothing from nobody. That's one thing. And then the only time I protect myself is like if they pull out a knife or something, you know, like a weapon or, you know, like a...
Tell me what happened this time, Benny.
Well, he didn't bother. I don't know, because I know he didn't have nothing. I don't know, you know.
You know that he had nothing.
Not in. What he had, he was saying that out of him, you know, like what he had, like, hey, this and that, you know.
What was it that he had?
He didn't show us. He had just he just said, hey man, all I got is some weed or whatever. He was saying all that, you know, just talking. That was it. You know, we're like, oh, okay. Well, we just walked in Walmart with grocery shopping. You know, take the responsibility.
Do it in your heart. Do it in your heart to do the right thing and tell us about this altercation right here.
Well, I said the truth, you know. You know,
Maybe
the
that
whole
is
thing.
not the truth.
But
no, maybe that is not the truth.
Bernardo.
So what Bernardo is doing is he's telling the truth, but he's not telling the truth pertaining to the incident that they're talking about. And that is one of those tactics that I'll be telling you that some people do, right? It's manipulation. So yeah, you're telling the truth. You probably believe that you're taking care of your girlfriend, you're being the standing guy to your girlfriend or her mother and her family and stuff like that. And you put that in front, so you're not ever really answering their question when they're being very specific about this incident where they seen you having words with this person who is now unalive, right? From blunt force trauma, right? This is what they're asking you about, and you're just keep on harping on all the other things and the great things that you do. So it's hard, right? And the reason why this is a tactic is because if you're telling the truth about one thing, your demeanor is gonna be look like, oh, I'm telling the truth. I'm calm because I know this is something I do. And that also stops you from actually really answering the question. You're not going to answer the question because now we're going to start to see body signs of you lying or you taking time to to give out an answer that you think that seems credible. So they do that. We've seen it so many times on this channel. How many times that we have seen people go into these interrogations and they go on a whole rampage of their whole life, all the ups and downs and everything that they went through and all the stuff like that. It has nothing to do with what the detective asked them. Not one thing. And then when the detectives get tired of hearing you rambling on and they're like, hey, can you answer forwardly this particular question? Now all of a sudden they get quiet. Now all of a sudden they get dry mouth where they need water. They need to drink some water. They need some time to put something together. We see it all the time. And what he's doing is just no different. And in his mind, yes, he's a good girlfriend and a good boyfriend or a good husband, right? You can't tell him nothing different. But that's not what they're asking you. They're not asking you if you are the boyfriend of the year or the father of the year. They're asking you about this situation. Let's go on.
Realizes there is no point in denying the altercation, so he decides to claim he acted in self-defense.
Right here.
Oh, I did defend myself and my woman, you know, because of the stuff you'll tell us, and then, you know, all females get scared, man.
Okay, so what did so what did he tell your female to make you get upset with him? What did he tell your female? What did he tell Erica?
Hey, when I heard that he said that he wanted to rape them and stuff like that.
So he told Erica and who else?
That other girl.
Okay, which you don't know the name.
The one that was scared of him.
Okay.
He told the other girl.
Okay,
you know,
he told the other girl what?
That he wanted to have sex and that he was gonna take her to the booties out there and all that.
Okay.
And they were scared.
Okay.
And then my girl came and told me.
Okay.
You know, if they're not involved in, you know, but I went and I got scared. I said, man, I'm scared he might do something, you know, because he was coming from me down. So, hey, stop me. So we kept going because they're scared. I'm scared.
Okay.
You know, because I've been jumped.
Right.
After that, that's when I hit the other guy. And when I tried to get that guy with the knife, he had hit him, but I didn't use no weapons. I used just my hand just went on him because he pulled out something out of his bag, I guess, whatever it was. Tried to hit my friend, so I grabbed it and I said no. And I just hit him one time.
Where did you hit him at?
I hit him right here on the side or the chest, and that was it. And so I went. Me and my girl had just left. We were already gone. Me and my girl, we were already going to the park. So, you know.
So you hit him one time, you said, right in the chest area, somewhere around here.
That was it.
Do you recall which side it was?
No.
Do you remember?
That was it.
Okay.
Bernardo claims that Herbert threatened him and his girlfriend as they were leaving Walmart and then followed them down the road. At some point, Herbert attacked Bernardo, so he hit him in the chest and ran away.
But I'm being 100% and I'm letting you know.
Do not be 100%, Benny. That's the problem that we're having. I mean, I'll be 100% real with you. You're 75% you're being real. There's still 25% we are not being real. And it's I explained to you a minute ago. The reason we have you in here is because we know, I mean, from point A to point Z, exactly what happened, and you're leaving still 25% out of that story. Okay? Just a minute ago, we talked about the walker, and you said he gave it to you, you went and disposed of the walker, you threw it in a room. What else did you do to this man? We know. We just want to hear it from you. We want to give you the opportunity to let us know what else you did to this man. How else did you hit him? What did you hit him with?
I used my hand. You know.
There's something else.
And that was it.
We know there's something else.
I only hit him 1 or 2 times. That was it.
So now it's two
it.
times. Okay, you hit him one time with the fist in his chest, and then now you hit him a second time with what?
My leg.
Okay,
but not hard. Like,
okay. So you kicked him. Okay.
Yeah.
There's still something else that's missing. Also, we know because he and I were both there. We know that he was hit with something else. We know that. What was it?
What was it?
We know what it was. We want to hear it from you. You're telling us that you want to be honest, that you're being truthful. We want to hear it from you.
Right. No, I'm saying the truth.
No.
Because he was trying to.
It's like, come on, sir. Like, I would just, at this point, I would just wish that he would just stop talking and just get a lawyer, because it seems like they already have the weapon already. They already have the weapon. They already have his fingerprints on the weapon. They just want to understand what led to this. And he's just making it seem like he doesn't know. Like, he doesn't know what they're talking about. It took him a while for him to even admit that he even actually did hit this guy. And now, first it was 1 time, now it's 2 times, now it's I kicked him. It's just really not helping his case. I don't understand. You could definitely tell that he's lying. And like I said, the deer in the headlights look is not going to help you. Hi, Ghost. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. He was in a walker. I don't know. I don't think I heard him say he was in a walker. Or he's in a walker. No, I don't think he's in a walker. I just think that that's one of those swinging chairs, if that's what you mean. Yeah, exactly, Bruce. Now it's 2 times. Now it's 2 times. See, it's like the more that you talk, the more that you tell on yourselves. Arms all over the place. Why? The way he talks, how can anyone not tell? Right. Hey, Joe. Long time no see. How are you? Happy Wednesday. Brandon said his facial expressions is crazy. He's just like, I don't know. Eyes is bulging out of his head and everything. It's just crazy. See something, say something culture. I'm telling on everyone. I'm showing to see Good Citizen of the Year award. Yeah. All right, let's go on, guys. Let's go on.
Hit us or hit my friend, you know, and it's, you can tell that back to, you know.
Bernardo creates an imaginary friend named Josh and claims that Josh was the one who attacked Herbert, and his weapon of choice was a bathroom sink.
I'm still having a little bit of a hard time about this Josh guy that...
Not imaginary friend.
Oh, that boy. That's what I would call him.
See me locked up? How can I prove that this guy exists?
Dad, fat people ain't getting
How
no
can I prove that
love
this guy
today,
is
are
real?
they?
This Josh guy.
Why are they attacking the fat people?
Oh, he was there. How can I prove that he's real? Where can I find him with a tattoo here saying fat boy?
Oh, no.
You know, how can I prove that he's not just somebody you invented to imagine that he's real?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't do that. You know, I'm being honest the way y'all want me to say the truth.
We want you to be honest.
And I am being honest.
We want you to be honest, Vinny. And you have been honest about some things. Okay? But I'm having a hard time about this Josh guy.
He's bald. He's a little stocky, and they call it that one. You know. So I'm telling the guys, man,
What, Brandon?
what you hit him at, or
They're
what?
nice and cute and squishy and everything. They're not getting no break today. I don't know. Appreciate that.
That Mr. Herbert is missing also a pair of black steel-toe boots, and I find it very, very, very ironic that you have the exact same boots that he has in your tent.
Oh, I got those at the closet place. Yeah, because they marked the name and they mark boots. Like, you know how you get all your stuff that don't mark it, and it has a date when I went.
You say I wouldn't lie to you, but
Oh, there you go.
We've gotten this far. I mean, it's 8:41, and you got in here at 6 p.m. You know, had you been
There he goes. Now he's starting to break down. You see the dry mouth? He had to go get that water real quick. Now he's sitting up. He acted like he's more attentive into the conversation because what he's saying is not really making any sense. It's not making any sense. He's getting caught in lies and they're not believing about this fat boy friend. You know, you call him fat boy. There's imaginary friend that supposedly is supposed to be there. Ah, gosh. It's terrible. Just terrible. If only he knew any better just to be quiet and get a lawyer. Maybe you could have put up something about self-defense or something like that, but obviously we could tell there was no self-defense. Let's go on.
Be truthful from the get-go, we would have been done with this. But I mean, obviously it's almost 3 hours later. You know, I would say probably at least 2.5 hours later that we've gotten to this point. You know what I mean? So and again, you know, I mean, I strongly feel that you're not.
Right, beat him up.
Exactly. Behind.
Exactly. You know, and I know just as well as you do that there are that you are leaving some stuff out. I know that. You know that. You know.
Brother, I'm a person that would not lie.
You know, it's just
still toe boots. I'm there.
Okay. And it goes as far as going back to this. You said you punched him one time. I know just as well as you know that your involvement in this was a little bit more. I know that. This man had a family, man. You know, and that's what sucks. You know, it just wasn't one person involved. His family, you know.
That is true.
And, you know, I've got to speak to them. I've got to talk to them. You know, they've been calling me. Obviously, they're concerned because their loved one is dead. And that's what's not fair, you know.
I didn't even know he was dead. You know what I mean?
He sure should.
So you had no idea he was dead?
No, sir. Nothing like that. No, sir.
And when did you find out he was dead?
I didn't find out. You know, they never told me nothing. You know what I mean?
No one ever told you anything?
No. Yes, sir. Nothing.
Bernardo looks like a deer in headlights as he claims he had no idea his victim had died from the attack. The detectives believe they're getting close to a confession, so they try one last time to get Bernardo to be honest.
This is your opportunity to set the record straight from your point of view, your justifications, your reasons for doing whatever you did, the circumstances that caused you to act the way you did. This is the opportunity, okay? And whatever you say is compared to the evidence and the facts that we know, the other information we have gathered.
It could be the bank,
When you're 100% truthful, it's going to make you look that way. When we compare it to what we have. When there's some stuff missing, it's going to tell us that,
yes, exactly, Joe.
Benny is a good man. He did tell us some good things. He did, he did own up to some of his actions, but then he left some stuff out, and that's the way it's gonna look. Okay, and so.
Oh, okay. So,
I appreciate talking to us about this. I'm still not satisfied with the story that you told us.
Right, and the move around, meaning.
And I'm not saying it's a lie. I know there's a lot of truth in what you said. I just having trouble with some of it. And I'm not here to tell you, what, this is not right, tell me something different, or this is not right, I want you to tell me this or that. No, this is not the way this works. I'll give you an opportunity to tell me what you saw, what you remember, okay? Sometimes people don't remember things clearly because they're afraid or something else, but when you tell me things that there's just no possible way that they could have happened a certain way, then it doesn't look good for you. It causes a problem, but not for us. Okay?
Yes, and go to the corner.
Let me tell you what we're going to be doing on this. Unless you have something else that you want to add, or something else that you want to clarify, or something else that you remember, that'll make things a lot easier for us to understand. And there's something like that is, you have something else you want to say. We're going to have somebody photograph you, photograph your hands, photograph your, we're probably going to collect your clothes and your shoes.
He should definitely remember hitting this guy with a bathroom sink. Like that, I don't know how you don't remember that, but he completely left that out. He left it to the imaginary friend, fat boy, who just disappeared. He's so fat, right? Because you call him fat boy, but he evaporated into thin air after he hits this guy with a bathroom sink. Right. This is what you want the detectives to actually believe. You don't even know his name. Did you even give him a real name? You just gave a nickname. I don't know. Let's go on. He's thinking, looking and leaning forward, acting like he's attentive. I don't know. Somewhat, he looked like he has to go to the bathroom. I don't know.
Like all the stuff.
Yeah. And something that we'll probably need at some point, and this is something that you can do voluntarily, or we can do it at a later time, is collect your DNA material. You know what DNA is?
They did that in Plainview too.
They did that well. We'd like to do the same thing, and that way, people when they're involved in altercations, they sweat, they transfer their bloods, their skin cells when they grab somebody, do stuff like that, and if you say all you did was one punch, but we find some other DNA, some other of your DNA somewhere else, and that's going to create a problem. But of course, if you're saying the truth and the DNA backs you up, then what can I say? Whatever I believe or think it doesn't matter, because science is science, and that's gonna prove us, you or me, right or wrong. Okay? So, like I said, this is something that, like everything else, if you want to do it, we'll do it. If you sign a consent to allow us to collect the DNA sample, we'll do that tonight. If you don't want to do that, fine. We'll move on. We'll do the photographs. We'll do everything else that we're done. So you tell me, would you like to give us a sample of your DNA? Yes, no?
No. Do anything from, so, you know, yeah, have.
So is that answer yes or no?
Melissa, we definitely promote that here.
What Bernardo doesn't know is that his girlfriend who witnessed the attack told the police that Bernardo was bragging after killing his victim. Bernardo told her, "That's what happens when you look at my girlfriend."
Bernardo Mendez pleaded guilty.
Dang. Not girlfriend snitch. She snitched and told the police that you bragged to the family about what you did. So again, you don't even feel remorse for what you did. It wasn't self-defense. Now it seems intentional, like you intended to do that. And that's why they wanted to hear him say it, you know, like, or give his story so they can see whether or not they're going to give him second degree or they're going to give him first degree. Just gosh, man. Darn it.
Today to killing 51-year-old Herb. 8 years after the Lubbock man's murder, his killer will now spend more than a decade in prison. Bernardo Mendez pleaded guilty today to killing 51-year-old Herbert Featheroff in 2015. According to police records, Mendez struck Featheroff in the head and later bragged to a witness about, quote, beating up an old man. Featheroff's body was found at an apartment complex near Baylor and in North Sherman in March 8 years ago. At the time, witnesses told police Mendez blamed the attack on Featheroff looking at his girlfriend. Mendez was arrested several days later. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison today.
During the interrogation, Bernardo never admitted guilt, but when he was offered a plea deal for 15 years in prison, he immediately accepted the offer. Bernardo claimed that he and Herbert began arguing in an abandoned apartment when he beat up his victim using a bathroom sink. The victim's body was found days later, covered by an old door and wires. Bernardo would have never been caught had he not started bragging about what he had done. What are your thoughts on this case? Please share.
So that case was weird, right? Because, you know, he never admitted that he actually took this guy's life. He made up about a fat boy, you know, doing it, and he was the perp. And if his girlfriend didn't, well, I would say it like this. If he never said anything to his family members about it, and then his girlfriend didn't snitch, then he would not have been convicted. He wouldn't even have gotten 15 years. Right. But he took it because he knew that the evidence was going to pop out. Right. And he would rather deal with 15 than dealing with 21. So I think that was a very interesting case because, you know, he really did sit up there and he was trying to make it seem like he is so forthcoming. But we saw the signs that he was lying. A lot of things didn't make any sense. Like you act like at one point you didn't know who they were talking about or what they were talking about. And then it went from, oh yeah, I hit him once, then I hit him twice, then I kicked him, but I didn't really kick him that hard. And then all of a sudden I had one of my friends with me and he was the guy. Yeah, that guy named Fat Boy. Yeah, Fat Boy came in like a anime, jumped down, and he just beat this guy up, and then he evaporated into the air like it was nothing and just left me with everything. It's crazy work. All right, so you good folks, I have one more for you. I have one more since this one went pretty fast. Make sure you're hitting the like button for me. Truly appreciate it. It helps the channel. Also, share it out if you think anyone would be interested in these type of cases. And then I'm going to let you good folks go and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, okay? All right, so this case has to do with a killer cop. So we're going to see a full police interrogation of a cop back in September of 2024. He shot or unalived his 25-year-old girlfriend. And I guess he kind of realized that now his life is over. At first, it started off with the whole, I don't know what happened. It wasn't me and all the stuff like that. And then eventually, I guess we do get a confession. But I wanted to show this one. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. No, Brucey, I don't work tonight. I'm still on vacay, but I do go back to work tomorrow though. And I'm back on the wagon again. Here we go.
2024, police arrived at the home of Marion County Sheriff's Deputy Leslie Boileau to find his 25-year-old girlfriend, Paulina Wright, dead. She'd been shot in the forehead. Boileau told officers at the scene, "I know this looks really bad. I told her I did not want this to happen." Police take Boileau down to the station for questioning.
Such a good night. We were having such a good night. This cannot be happening right now. No. She can't be. She cannot be dead. She is a good person. We should have never been doing that. This has got to be a nightmare. Pauline has got to be. God, please send her back to me. I love you. I'm so sorry, dude. I know better. I should have not allowed this to happen. I don't know how this happened. I just want to see you. No, we were having such a good night. How did I let this happen? Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
So he was having a whole tantrum on the floor like a toddler. And this is a cop. So we get to see when a cop is on the other side of the room and see how they conduct themselves. Let's go on.
Oh, wow. I just got here not too long ago, so I'm kind of coming into the back end of this whole thing, right? So bear with me because I really don't know a lot. But first thing I want to tell you is I'm sorry for what's going on. All right.
It seemed like
Spell your
he
last
was having that, Elizabeth.
B-L-I-L. Yeah, you know. That's what I thought. But I wanted to make sure. All right. You know the drill, right? Yeah. So, I'll get through it. If you need anything, let me know. But obviously because we're here, we gotta talk about kind of what's going on, right? I know. Yeah. I really don't want to talk about it. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to execute these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. You understand each of these rights if I explain them to you? I do. All right. So, kind of, like I said, I was kind of coming into the back end of this. Tell me exactly what happened.
It was an accident. We were training.
What do you mean by that? You were training?
We were doing dry fire drills and cleaning the guns. I was so worried about her.
Wrong. It was an accident. We were training. We were doing dry fire. If you were doing dry fire, you being a police officer, you carrying a weapon every single day, you would know that before you do a training or a dry fire training, you are supposed to remove the magazines or any bullets in the magazines. You are supposed to check the weapon, right? You're supposed to have the safety on. Those are the biggest steps that you do if you're going to do training. So I'm just not understanding how you carry a weapon every single day How do you make that terrible mistake, right? As of right now, if we're going to look at it as a mistake, how do you do that? You shouldn't even had any live ammo anywhere near the weapon. Let's see. Flower said, if it's not, it wasn't a good fake one. Yeah, it wasn't a good one. He was faking all the way. Many don't realize that they're recorded and they talk to themselves, spilling the beans. True. And then some of them do actually do that to make themselves seem more remorseful or to show that they're having a psychiatric breakdown or psychotic breakdown, I should say. Let's see. I don't know what that means. Diamond. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Elizabeth, afraid I'll do that, Bruce, even if I wasn't there. Miss Jalen said dry fire. And Bruce, standards of operation procedures. Yes, SOPs. Let's go on.
Because she picked up a loaded gun. I unloaded her gun and I forgot mine had a magazine in it.
So you and her, and I'm sorry, what is her name?
Paulina Wright.
Paulina Wright?
Mm-hmm.
And you said you were dry firing training with guns. What kind of guns were they?
Mine was my Daniel Defense, the rifle, or it's considered a pistol or whatever.
Okay.
And then
go ahead.
It's a 5.56 rifle.
5.56. Okay.
And then she picked up my 9mm pistol. Those were the two guns that were there.
Okay. So, what time did you guys start doing this training?
I don't remember what time. We were cleaning and doing that for maybe an hour. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, I don't expect you to know.
We were sitting at the table. We just got done with dinner. We went out, had dinner, came back. We were starting to watch the football game together, and we sat down. I just ordered all of that stuff that was on the table, the new stuff for cleaning and the mat and stuff. And she wanted me to show her how to do it. So we started doing it, and it just led into this.
Okay. So, was she pointing the gun at you? Were you pointing the gun at her? Kind of go through
just
that.
in a general direction,
right?
Which I know is wrong. We should not have been doing that. She was a woman.
But she told you that she wanted to learn how to do this?
Yeah.
Okay, and
okay, that doesn't even make any sense. 1 minute that you said that y'all was training, you was doing dry training, y'all had pistols, you had your pistol, she had her own pistol. At one point you said that you was cleaning. Now, if y'all were cleaning your weapons and y'all not shooting anymore, right? So then you said she grabbed another pistol. So I'm wondering again, why did you even have two weapons if y'all not at the range or something? You're home. You're talking about you're cleaning your weapons. So she grabbed one of the pistols that you shot or that y'all didn't shoot that had ammo in it, and that's how that happened. It sounds weird the way how he's saying it, because usually if you're cleaning your weapon, you don't have ammo in your gun, right? Usually your ammo is away, the magazine is away from the gun, and you break down the gun and you clean it, right? With your cleaning kit. So if that's the process, if that's even happening, how does she shoot, quote unquote, shoot herself? Because apparently, right, this is what it seems like he's making the detective believe, that it was an accidental fire where she's shooting herself. And then he said that it was he asked him about where was she pointing it at? Was she pointing a gun at you? Was you pointing a gun at her? Y'all said it was general direction, so that means you were kind of pointing at each other. Why are you pointing guns at each other? You know that you're not supposed to be pointing guns at each other. You being law enforcement, you know that they train you that you don't pull out your gun unless you're going to shoot it, right? That's the only two times you pull out your gun. You pull out your gun at a range, and if the next time you pull out your gun, you're most likely going to shoot, right? That's the only time. And then again, it does not make any sense. How are y'all doing a dry fire with weapons? You're not at the range, you're home. So if anything, if you're just trying to show her to make sure that she has a good trigger squeeze, or she's having a good grip on the weapon and she knows how to handle it correctly, she knows her sight and eye point on the weapon, right? If you could do that without ammo. So I still don't understand why ammo was even involved. But, that's just my training kicking in now, but let's go on.
Obviously, I wasn't doing it properly because we were pointing the guns at each other. Or I wouldn't really say at each other, but in general directions, which, because we were sitting across from each other.
At the table, you're on one side, she's on the other.
Yeah.
And
Where the green mat was is where I was.
Okay.
And she was across the table.
And so are you cleaning the guns, or are you teaching her how to
both,
like to aim and stuff?
We started with the cleaning. She had the rifle at first.
Okay.
After I got done putting it back together, she was messing with it while I was cleaning different parts of it, and we started to put it all back together. I forgot that I put the magazine back in it. And then she picked up the pistol.
Oh my freaking God!
Because she started waving it around. Because she doesn't know.
Right.
I don't think she's ever shot a gun before.
I don't believe this. I don't believe this.
Show me how to do it. I was like, well, first, give it to me. Because I didn't want this to happen.
Oh my God.
So originally she had the rifle. It was on, you had cleaned it, is that right?
It was in parts.
Right. You had disassembled it.
Yeah.
And you were cleaning it, or?
She was picking up different pieces of it. I was showing it to her. Stuff like that. Then I put it back together, and then she picked up the pistol.
Okay. And then
That don't make no sense.
When you put the rifle back together, you loaded the mag.
So this is what I'm talking about. That's why that doesn't make any sense. So y'all cleaned the weapons, you put it back together, and then you put a mag in there. Why? Why did you put the mag back into the weapon? Like, is this your service gun? Because I would think that would be like the only thing that would make sense to me. If this was your service gun and you were just wiping it down and all the stuff like that, keeping it clean or keeping it oiled, right? And then you put your magazine back in the weapon and you're about to go, conceal it. But then she was saying that she just went and just started grabbing the gun and just running around, holding it carelessly. If that's the case, then why was y'all even doing a dry training then? So you really want me to believe that y'all was able to complete a dry fire where you explain to her the procedures in the beginning, how to handle a weapon, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do if you're training, right? And you're acting like an instructor. And you're making sure that the area is secure. You're making sure that there's no round in the chamber of the weapon. You're making sure that the magazine is stored away, right? Because you're doing a dry fire training. Those are the steps you take. So if you're training her in the beginning that these are the steps that you take and this is how you clean the weapon, then I'm sorry, I'm not going to believe that she's just going to randomly go against everything that you trained her within an hour and just grab a weapon that now is completely loaded. I'm not going to believe that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to believe that. This is not a 14-year-old. This is not a 13-year-old. I mean, she's still fairly young. She's 24, but this is a grown adult. And you just said that you were doing a dry fire training. So I'm getting a little frustrated because he's making it seem like this is reasonable and the steps, but at the end of the day, if you was instructing her because she doesn't know anything, then why would you even put a live weapon around her? Let's go on.
Magazine into it.
Correct. I normally keep the magazine with it. I don't keep one in the chamber, but I keep the magazine with it.
Okay. And that was going to be my next question, because I don't know shit about guns. I don't even know what the hell a Daniel defense gun is, to be honest with you.
Brand.
Okay. So, but when you put the magazine into it,
It wasn't loaded. Oh, well, there wasn't one in the chamber.
I am not a psychologist. I do study psychology, and I am trained in
things.
So at some point you charged it?
a lot of things. A lot of things.
So then
Miss
she has a
Flower, a lot of
9mm.
things.
Yeah.
And she's waving it around, but you know, you clear it.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure hers was unloaded.
Okay. So
obviously I failed to do the same with mine.
Okay. But during that time where you guys are doing this training, this cleaning, you know, the guns are being pointed at one another.
Yeah.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Right, Bruce.
That should not have been happening.
Hi, Candy. How are you? It's good to see you, dear. Don't worry about being late. Don't worry about it at all. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. Yes, Flower. I am military.
What? So, does the gun have like the Daniel defense gun? Does it have like a trigger guard on it, and you know, like a standard gun, like it's just standard everything on it?
Well, you're doing dry fires.
Right.
I dry fired it.
Oh my goodness gracious!
And is that normal for when you're?
Hey, my bro, stop by. Shout out to my bro. Yes, we celebrate tomorrow. It's the birthday boy. What is up, Sharon? It's good to see you. It's good to see you, sir. It's so good to see you. Yes, we celebrate. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I missed you, but I understand why you've been gone, sir. Condolences. You'll talk about it when you want to, but condolences. And it's your birthday coming. The birthday boy, Miss Jalen, thank you so much for dropping the wildest wake up shows channel down in the chat. Truly appreciate you. We on it tomorrow. Gang. Thank you so much. Oh yes, it's his birthday. Yes. We gotta go big and go home, right? Yes, us 40 people, we don't get that many birthdays, so we gotta celebrate our birthdays when we have them. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you so much for the super chat.
Like, you know, like when we clean our club. Huh?
Yeah, like when we're at the range.
Yeah, you have to dry fire it to get it to disassemble. Yeah. Same thing with this one.
You don't have to do it to disassemble it, but to just like a check.
Right.
And make sure it's still functioning correctly.
Okay.
Same concept.
Okay.
And honestly, she had the Glock, so it's the same concept.
Okay. So I'd heard that there was some vomit at some point. Did she vomit at any point?
I think that was when she was shot.
Okay.
She wasn't doing it like that. Was all after. That was all part of. I don't know why she vomited.
Were you guys eating when this was happening? Because you said you'd gone out for
Yes,
dinner.
another Gemini in the house.
Los, the Mexican restaurant, Los Beginners.
You know I mess with my Gemini. I fucks with my Geminis.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
What time did y'all go there, roughly?
7-ish.
Okay.
Maybe.
And got home.
An hour after that, 8.
And started watching the football game.
Well, I turned it on, and she wanted. I got the packages were there, and I undid the packaging, and she wanted to see what it was. She was asking questions, so I was starting to show her, and it just led into what happened.
Okay. How long have you guys been together?
2 years.
So when you get home, you start doing the packaging. You get home roughly 8 o'clock from dinner.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe 8:30. It might have been an hour and a half.
Sure. Between 8:30, you get home from dinner. Get the packages for your guns, your cleaning
they were
materials.
sitting on the table. The Amazon packages.
Now this was like the cleaning materials and stuff.
Oh,
So you got your cleaning materials. You guys start talking about
well,
how
happy
she wants
early
to
birthday
learn how
to you,
to.
Anthony. If we don't see you again,
And
thank
what
you
did you
for
want to
coming
learn
by.
specifically?
Happy
Just
birthday.
anything about it?
Yeah, just in general.
Just Just general stuff.
Said that she wanted to go to the gun range sometime.
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting there and teaching her how to, I'm assuming, look into sights and all that other stuff. Right. Okay. Now, does that rifle that you have, does that have like a sight or anything on it?
There's a red dot.
Or a red dot? Okay. Was the red dot on at any point?
I turned it on for her. Yeah.
Okay.
She was looking at it before.
Right. Was that turned off when you got it? Like when you charged it? Or was it still on? I don't know shit about red dots either. I know that sounds funny, but I don't know shit.
It's gonna happen.
Yes, Brucey's birthday just passed too.
But as far as you know, the red dot was still on.
I believe so. I don't know.
Right. So, did you guys eat anything when you guys got back home? What? Nothing like that?
I didn't. I don't think she did. We were full.
Right. Did you guys have anything to drink at dinner?
Yeah, we had margaritas.
Now you see how he's
It's kind of our thing.
No, I get it.
Now you see that he's not he's being he's showing defensive signs, right? Like he's not being forthcoming. He got his arms crossed, he got his hands crossed, because he's asking him now about how the day started. Did y'all have drinks? Did y'all eat? Did y'all have any arguments or anything like that? The harder questions is coming in. It really didn't make sense why he did what he did. It doesn't make sense that he made the mistake of putting the magazine back into the weapon when you was doing after cleaning, right? If you're not even going to use the weapon, you wasn't going back to work. And I'm thinking that this is not even his service weapon. So if it's not even his service weapon, you do not need a weapon to be loaded, especially in the house. You're not at no range, right? So again, when it doesn't make sense, most likely it's not true. But let's go on.
I mean, who doesn't like a good margarita, Was there anybody else at the house other than you two? Is that your house or hers?
My house.
Okay.
Oh, we love you over here, Brucey. And take care of that ankle. No more breaking ankles.
Okay. Right.
And she obviously stays there with me.
Sure. I need to contact family. Where's her family?
Her parents live down in Floral City.
Floral City?
Floral City.
Floral City.
Citrus County. It's John and what's her mom's name? Karen.
I'm right with the Lord all the time, love. Shout out
Have
to
you met them
you.
before?
Yeah, they know me.
Do you have a phone number for them?
If you brought my phone, if I had my phone.
Yeah.
I could get one of the, don't remember if I have. I have her other family's, her brother-in-law and sister's phone number.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I think the code to her phone, if you can get into her phone.
We got one of our evidence techs out there doing pictures and shit. I'll be heading out there at some point to just walk them through everything. I'll look for what kind of phone.
Don't let her cat out. Her cat is there, Allie.
Okay.
Disabled cat, and then obviously my dog.
Right. What kind of phone does she have?
An iPhone. It's a smaller one than mine. It's the black one without a case. Mine's the blue one, the bigger one.
You said blue?
Yeah. They asked me where they were, and I don't remember where we sat them down. Like, they could be anywhere from where we were all the way into the bedroom.
Sure. I mean,
and obviously the all black phone is my agency phone.
Okay. All right. Do you...
I'm trying to figure out, why did he do it? Like that I haven't gotten yet. Like I'm getting the means. I have the opportunity, but I'm really not picking up on the motive as of yet. I don't know if he had found her talking to someone else, or he's one of those jealous boyfriends, or or whatever. I don't know. Did she steal money from him or what? I don't know. Was she going to say something that was going to mess up his law enforcement career? I'm not quite getting it yet. But I hope that the more that we keep on going down in this interrogation, I can pick up what was the actual motive or his intent of unaliving his girlfriend. Let's see. Okay, no problem, Brucey, no problem. Flower said they don't require much intellect to be a cop. Yeah. I mean, they have made the requirements a little easier because we had a shortage, and this is why we should always have the right people who wants to do the right job, right? Do the job. We can no longer bank on just on having a shortage now because it's costing us money as a society. Oh, well, so far we're still getting more details about what happened with his girlfriend. We had an understanding about how their day planned out or turned out before the incident occurred, and they were just talking about her phone. And do he know the whereabouts of her phone? Let's go on.
Do you need anything right this second?
No.
Okay. If you need something. I can't believe this is happening. Yeah, and like I said, dude, I'm sorry all this is happening.
It was an accident. I really did. I really wish it was me.
I'm sorry. At some point, when the evidence officer gets back, I'm just going to have him take pictures of you. I guess when officers showed up there, I mean, you were holding her, trying to get her moved or something along those lines.
I was just holding her.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so just take pictures.
She's still in the chair where she was.
Okay.
Obviously, she just, the condition she is and clothing-wise, is.
Right.
She walks around the house like this.
Yeah,
She doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, I get it.
It's not the deal. Yeah. We were supposed to be laying on the couch together watching football, but then things got moved to the table.
Right.
I'd like to make arrangements for
arrangements.
Pets.
Sure. Yeah. What kind of arrangements?
Call my parents or something.
Yeah. All right. So as soon as I get out there and I can get your phone.
Yeah, I don't know any of the numbers by heart, obviously.
No, yeah. Going back to when you guys were sitting at the table doing, the cleaning and the training and all that other stuff. Do you remember how many times you fired the gun?
He was whispering.
Like the accidental discharge?
Yeah.
I'll turn it up a little bit more. Maybe you can hear.
Okay. Because I know when I've been out to certain things, just the pure reaction of it, and then somebody pulls again,
As soon as I did it, I
just dropped it and helped her.
He shot his girlfriend.
I don't remember if I unloaded it, like dropped the mag. I was in shock.
All right. No, I get it. And I don't expect you to know like super finite details right now. Okay. All right. Give me just a second. I'm gonna be right out.
I called 911, so my phone should be right there. I have to go find it.
Okay. All right. Did you call off your personal phone or your agency?
Not my personal. I think it was right there, yeah.
Okay. All right. As soon as I get out to the house, and I'll grab your phone and we'll start making whatever arrangements you need.
Am I going to jail?
I don't know, dude, to be honest with you.
I really didn't mean for this to happen.
Yeah, I get it, dude.
I don't know how this is
going. You and I have known each other for a long time. I mean, I'm not going to bullshit. But...
Well, I didn't ask for a lawyer. I didn't call your lawyer. It's a fucking accident. I didn't mean for this to happen.
I get it.
I'm never going to be able to.
Oh, I wish the detective did not say that, right? I wish he didn't say that because that can be used as a conflict of interest. You know this guy for a very long time. Obviously, because this guy is a police officer, he probably have brung in people or potential suspects numerous of times to your desk and table for you to interrogate them. And now you have to do that with him. But hopefully, and I think that that this detective has integrity, and no matter what, even if he do know this guy for many, many years, he's going to put his job and what he's here to do first before any form of association that he knows with this guy. But I wish he didn't say that. That shouldn't have been on record. Nobody should know that you knew this guy for many, many years. All right, let's go on.
Bad. Let me,
I really want to take care of her cat.
Yeah, we'll take care of it. We'll make sure that everything,
This
as
one
soon as I get out
is
there.
the crime scene, LeVar. Hello, happy Wednesday.
Like I said, you don't need anything right this second. And as soon as the EO gets back, I'm just going to have them take pictures of it.
That's fine. Right. Yeah, her vomits on me. It's her blood.
Yeah.
Oh, what I could have done.
Right. Try to. Give me just a second, okay?
Hey, buddy. Hey, who do you want to get the dog and car?
Car? Her car?
Make sure that's which one.
There's my truck and her car, which...
Let's see what he says. What about the dog, though?
What time is it?
It's almost 8 till 4.
4 a.m.? I don't know. I'd have to try to make some phone calls, I guess.
Where's your phone supposed to be?
In the house somewhere.
At the house?
I called 911 on it, so...
Right.
Somewhere right there.
Oh, he might have meant cat.
It's her.
Could have been a typo.
Yeah. The dog and the cat. If you put the cat in the cat room, the one with the cage on the door, that's where the kitty litter and her food is, so...
Self-sufficient in there?
So,
would somebody be able to come by at a later time and take care of it or something?
It's my girlfriend's cat.
Right, I understand that.
I'd have to make arrangements with her parents, I guess.
What about her?
I've been taking care of the cat for the last few weeks. Because she's been in and out, doing other stuff. She's going through a job change, so...
Do you have family local or something that can come take care of come pick up the dog?
We would have to go wake them up. It's 4 a.m.
Right. Do you know anybody's numbers? I mean, we got to do something. We can't just leave the animals.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize how big it was.
Yeah.
I don't know my parents' phone numbers. I'd have to have my phone. Could I give him my passcode to get into my phone? It's under mom and dad.
What's the passcode?
3003. Last 4 of my phone number.
Okay. All right, give me a second.
All right. Can I use the restroom?
You said it's under mom or dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Right. Actually, can you boys take him to the bathroom real quick?
Oh yeah, those are good one. Definitely Red Tree, LeVar. Definitely Red Tree. Yes. I didn't know about Couch Detective or Crime Circus. I'm gonna have to check those out.
Yes, sir. Are you able to find that blanket or something? What's that blanket? The blanket?
Yeah, let me go.
I'm freezing.
Sorry about that, man.
So while we're still waiting and to see if when this start to heat up, right? What do you think his motive was for unaliving his girlfriend? put it down in the chat. What do you believe his motive was for unaliving his girlfriend? Because like him being a cop, I'm just not buying him like making the mistake of putting a live weapon in the hands with a 24-year-old woman who doesn't use guns on a regular basis, doesn't know how. You were supposed to be her instructor. It was supposed to be a dry fire. You did a dry fire training with her. That completed it. Y'all was cleaning the weapons now and assembling it back up. Why would you put ammo into the weapon, and then why would you point in guns at each other? Like that's just like a big no-no. Like I think they even teach that when you go for your gun training 101. Be careful about your muzzle, where you point your weapon. Why would you actually be pointing your weapon at each other? That doesn't make any sense for him to be to do that. So I'm kind of like, that is just giving me red flags. I just don't buy that. So what do you think? Let's see. Flower said cheated. Yeah, I think that could be a possibility. Miss Jalen says, je no sé, je no sé, je no sé, je no sé. I know, right? I don't know, right? Guess, good guess. Yeah, no, I do think cheating could be a possibility. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe if he was under the influence, he, I don't know. It's weird. I'm still trying to pick up the motive. I haven't picked up the motive yet. I'm just not getting accidental at all. And especially they're going to find out whether or not if she shot herself or if someone else shot her. There is a difference between self-inflicted wounds and wounds, that are given by somebody else, so we'll figure that out. But I'm really not getting the motive yet.
Yep. Do you know if they were able to get a hold of my dad or my mom or with the dog?
Yeah.
We still haven't heard back from the phones on scene right now, man. As soon as we hear anything, I'll let you know.
Okay. All right, so I just got back from the house. I just want to go over everything again, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Kind of just get a little bit more of a detailed thing. But before I do that, do you remember the Miranda rights that okay. Do I need to read those to you again? Are you okay with talking to me? Okay. All right. So you said that you went out to dinner at that Los Magallos Mexican place at about 7 o'clock, right? Here's when you guys got there.
I don't know. I think it was around then.
Okay.
It was a little later. It was dark when we came out. I know that.
Okay. What car did you take there?
My truck.
Took the truck. Okay. You got back home around between 8 and 8:30, roughly?
Sure. I wasn't keeping track of time, really.
I got you. Was it when you said you turned the football game on? Had it already started?
I always watched Interrogation.
It was after 8.
And I've always thought about the psychological mindset of
so
people
you
commit
get home,
crimes.
you turn the
And
football
I'm
game
very
on.
interested in
Go
what
through it again,
happens
please.
in courts
We sit
and
down,
when we're dealing with jury
start
cases
messing with it.
and what the prosecutor
Start messing with
mindset
the guns.
is and
You
what
say
the
you sit down.
defense
Are
attorney's
you sitting down at the
reaction
table?
is or response. I
Now,
always
are
get
you guys sitting on the
interested
same
in
side of the table?
and I do
Across from
have
each other.
plethora
What side
of
of the table are
years
you on?
working with law
So
enforcement
if I'm
as
going
well
through your
as
front door and I see the
I'm
table,
on the left side where the green mat is.
a military member. I should say.
I start to show her how to clean the gun. We're like trading parts back and forth, stuff like that.
okay. So
Here
when you're
comes
sitting there,
Leon
do you
and
have
yep.
the rifle out at that point?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the rifle out at that point, and you disassembled it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you disassembled it, and you're telling her how to clean it?
Yeah, how to clean it, what parts are what. Like I'm handing her some of the parts, and like she's holding it and messing with it while I'm cleaning other parts, type of deal.
Now, does she have the 9mm at that point? Okay.
No, we're just trading parts back and forth at that point for the rifle.
Okay.
I reassemble the rifle. She holds it, and she like dry fires it a few times.
You say you had the red light on it, or the red dot? Just to show her how it went?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I turned it on.
Okay.
Went back and forth. I was getting ready to put all the guns up, or put the rifle up. That's when she grabbed the 9mm. I had the magazine back in the rifle at that point because I was about to go put it up.
So after you were going back and forth, this is where you're like looking down the red, or the red dot, kind of going through that whole thing. Yeah. So at that point, you're done with it. You put the magazine back into the gun and charge it.
No, I did not charge it.
Did not charge it.
I don't charge it. I don't leave around in the chamber with the rifles.
Okay.
I just put the
Okay, so if you didn't charge it, then who did? Because if you don't have a round in the chamber, that means that your weapon is on amber status. Amber, right? It's not red. It's not ready to go. It's an amber. Somebody had to charge the weapon. Did you say that she charged the weapon? I didn't hear you say that she charged it. Because if she charged the weapon, you knowing the sound, right, Mr. Instructor, you knowing the sound, you would have been like, whoa, what are you doing? Put it down. But you didn't do that. You didn't do that. This is another reason why I'm not believing your story. Anybody who deals with weapons knows how it sounds when you put a round in that chamber and you have to rack it back, especially if it's a 9mm. You didn't say that you told her to stop. Hey, that is live now. You put a round in the chamber. You didn't say anything like that to her. When you was telling the detectives the story, you said that you were seeing her playing around with it and holding it and all the stuff like that. So again, I can't believe you. I can't believe you. I would believe that she don't know that there was a round in the chamber, right? She probably thought that all the clicking and clacking and all the stuff like that was just you messing around with the weapon or reassembling it. She don't know that it's there's an actual round in the chamber because you said that she doesn't know anything about guns. You're the ones instructing her. I don't buy your story, sir, and I'm sure the detective is not buying your story either, especially since you have not once said that you heard her click it and there was a round in the chamber. You said you don't even remember putting the magazine in there. But then now you just said, oh, I put the magazine in the rifle and I was about to put it away. So you do put the magazines inside the weapon and they do be loaded. That's what you do. That's what you do. According to you. Let's go on.
Magazine in it. Okay, so you put the magazine in it, getting ready to put it up.
Yeah. That's when she grabs the 9mm. I unload that for her because she's kind of waving it around. She starts to dry fire that one. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I go to dry fire my rifle. I dry fire it the first time, and then the second time is when.
One time before that, and then the second time is when it went off?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for somebody that's not a gun guy, how does a round get in there if you dry fire it one time?
We have to reset the trigger to dry fire a second time.
Okay, and that forces a round in there?
Yeah, because the magazine was in there. I forgot that I put the magazine back in.
Okay. So, you're going to put the rifle up. You put the magazine in the gun.
Yeah.
She grabs the 9mm.
Yeah.
Is that an agency gun or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So grabs the 9mm, but you realize that it was loaded.
Yeah, because it was in the holster. I took it to dinner with me.
Okay.
It was sitting there on the table.
Okay. But like there was a paddle holster on the.
Yeah.
Is that
the We the People? Okay. That's the in the holster or in the waistband holster.
Okay. So she grabs the 9mm. You unload it because you realize that it's loaded.
Yeah, right? I told her to be careful because it was loaded, and I was like, "Hand it here. Let me unload that. So if you're gonna mess with it, type of deal." I wasn't gonna clean that one. I had no reason to clean that one. So I just unloaded that one and hand it back to her. She started doing her thing, and her dry firing that made me start dry firing the rifle.
Okay. So
No, sir, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. You told her to be careful. Now all of a sudden you told her that it was live ammo in there and to be careful. You said that you wasn't going to clean that weapon. So you are letting a woman who don't have no experience with guns, because you're supposed to be training her, you're gonna let her handle a fully, ammoed up weapon? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? Gun instructors don't even do that. Gun instructors don't even let you, deal with the weapon, with rounds and stuff, unless you're at a range. And any single time they're just showing you how to hold the weapon or what you need to know. You need to know how far this weapon shoots, pertaining on what bullet you're using. There is no ammo in sight when they're giving you that instruction, right? Because we know how quick things can go left. So why are you letting her hold a live weapon? And then again, you still don't explain how actually the trigger, how actually a round got in the chamber. You still didn't really explain that. You said that you did a reset, and when you did a reset, and that's how you hold the trigger down, and then but that's only for like the safety. But again, you still have to rack it to get a round in there. Like, this guy is not making any sense whatsoever. That's not the procedure. So I'm getting a little frustrated because it goes against everything that I've been trained and what I know. So, I think I'm waiting for the point where he'll just be honest. That's what I'm waiting for at this point. I'm waiting on that point. Bruce said, then he said he had a rifle, or was a rifle. He said that he started playing with a rifle while she's playing with the pistol. He said that he wasn't going to clean the pistol because the pistol don't need to be clean. So it was only breaking down the rifles that they supposedly supposed to be doing the dry fire with. But again, now you're saying that you told her that this is a live gun, like it has ammo in it, and be careful. No, you didn't, because you didn't say that before. And then again, if that's the case, why are you pointing weapons at each other? Something that you said earlier, that y'all was pointing weapons at each other. Something that you don't never do. Do you know how hard it is? How hard it is to off yourself with. Listen, depending on what type of rifle it is, like, yeah, like, you have to. It's going this way. It's going this way. So if she did anything like this and all that stuff like that, but then again, it wasn't a rifle. She did that with the pistol. MJ said he confused me. Yeah, he is. Watch him now. He's talking to himself. He's talking himself into it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You'll never do it. And KJ, I don't even know who that is. What are you talking about, sir? Huh? I don't even know what he's saying. Anyway, Let's block this person. Let's go.
You dry fired the rifle one time, and then when you did it the second time, because the magazine had been loaded into it, it forced a round into the chamber.
Correct. That's when the accident happened.
Okay. So after you realize that she's been hit, where I know that you said that you had held her, but were you behind her?
On the side, right there.
Like her left side?
Yeah, I guess so. Because you know how my table is.
Mm-hmm.
She was sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
I came around and I was standing there next to her.
Okay.
So however that is.
Again, that doesn't make no sense. She shoots herself, and the first thing you want to do is just go run and hold her. You're not going to help her. You're not going to help her stop bleeding. You know, you're not going to render any aid. Try to put pressure on it. At least tell her how to put pressure on it. Make the call to 911. You're just holding her. That doesn't make any sense. Now, I understand people panic and stuff like that, but this is what you're trained to do, sir. You're trained to react in these type of situations, right? Be a police officer and be a peace officer, right? You're trained to react. So that's just not reacting, properly. Like, how do all your training just go right out the window? It goes right out the window. Like, I'm not understanding that. Like I told y'all, you remember the last time, I think it was a couple months ago, you remember I told you about one of our service members who ended up having to leave the military because he shot himself in the kneecap when we was heading home in the range. But mind you, he could have hit and killed every single one of us in that vehicle because the ricochet, right? Like all that bullet could have hit any one of us, but it just ended up shooting himself in the kneecap. But even then, that was a sign of someone who wanted to hurry up and rush, didn't want to go and follow the procedures of the range, and didn't clear his weapon, and didn't holster it correctly. And look what he did. I'm getting a little annoyed. He's a trained first responder, right? He knows what to do, right? He does. Let's go on.
Now, when you dry fired the rifle, were you sitting down or were you standing up?
Sitting. Because we were sitting across from each other.
Okay. So the entire time you were sitting down, for the most part.
Yeah. Like I may have had to stand up to like eat or something and go back and forth, but majorly we were sitting.
Okay.
We were talking, chit-chatting.
Now, earlier you told me that the cleaning stuff had come.
Yeah, that's what triggered us to start messing with it in the first place.
Now, I saw some Amazon boxes there. Is that what it came in?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So you get all this cleaning stuff, the mat maybe?
Yeah, I got the mat, the
Q-tips,
swabs,
yeah.
And I don't know what you call them, the pads.
Yeah, the little swab things, yeah.
And the AR tool, the cleaning tool.
Okay. So then you stand up there and hold her after you realize that she's been hit?
While on the phone with that.
And were you on speakerphone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
And your phone had a rubber case on it. It was on the table.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming that
was it the bigger blue one?
Yeah, it was a bigger phone.
Yeah, that was mine.
Her phone, I believe, was in the living room.
Sounds about right. I don't know wherever she put it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just reading my stuff here just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Alright, so when you called 911,
I don't understand.
You said that you had unloaded the rifle. Do you remember doing that?
Never bored, Miss Jalen.
Okay.
Their whole life is a bore.
Just, I can tell it was unloaded. The magazine wasn't in it, so.
Yeah.
Right. But unloaded the rifle. Anything else that I haven't asked you that is coming back to you since the first time I talked to you?
That's pretty much in a nutshell.
Okay. Just making sure. Now, when you guys are doing the, the training where she's dry firing and all that, you'd mentioned before that it was because of where you guys were sitting, the guns were pointed in each other's direction. Is that right? Okay. All right. Have you guys done this before in the past? Okay. So
it sounds bad, but after we go to dinner and have a few drinks.
Oh, that's a good one, LeVar. Thank you. I'm gonna check that one out.
I should not have been allowing that to happen.
How much did you have to drink tonight?
Just 3 margaritas. We each had 3.
But as far as like the training and the cleaning and stuff and her
Not
being
always cleaning.
right.
Like that was just
so
a
happened.
special occasion because I got the stuff in the mail.
Okay.
And she sat down and did it. And then other times, like we do the gun belt, we do pistol stuff.
So she's inquisitive about it. Okay.
Like I have a dry fire mag that I put in a pistol. And we play around with that.
Right.
And were you able to get a hold of my dad?
Right.
I did not.
Exactly.
What is his phone number? Do you know it off the head?
I don't.
Okay. No, I
That don't even make any sense. Like, so you've been drinking and your package come in from Amazon and automatically you like, oh, let's just play with weapons. You being a cop, you should know that's a no-no, right? You should know that's a big no-no, especially if you're dealing with weapons that have ammo in it. Like, does that even make any sense? Do that even seem like a good idea? Like, it's just really crazy to me. Like, you're drinking, you've been out drinking and all the stuff like that, and you like, let's play with guns. And let's play with guns that are they got mags in there with the ammo actually in there. Let's just have a good old night. I'm not buying it, sir. I'm really not. I'm really not buying it at all.
I didn't, but that doesn't mean somebody else didn't.
Oh, they were asking me about it, and I gave them the code to get to you to get the numbers out of my phone.
Then no, they didn't. I didn't get that far. But that's neither. I can get that. That's no big deal. Yeah, I'll get a hold of your dad. Or I'll get your phone so we can do all that. All right. So again, you, as far as her like being inquisitive about the training and stuff, and I guess her having some sort of fascination with either cops or the firearms and
sees me carry a gun around all the time,
sure,
type of deal.
Right.
It's just one of those things.
Right. So she wants to learn about it. But nothing like this is, you know, you mentioned that you'd gotten sloppy, but nothing like crazy had happened in the past where, you know, there was like safety issues.
No.
Yeah, this just happened to be the one. Okay. All right. What was the code to your phone, though?
3003.
I find it very peculiar that he keeps on asking, can you get in contact with my mom? Can you get in contact with my dad? Can you get in contact with my mom? Like, even throughout this whole thing, he's not even really even showing any, like, I would say remorse, upset, destroyed that your girl accidentally shot herself, right? I mean, according to him, like, she accidentally shot herself. So, like, I don't know, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you should be, I mean, we did see him earlier on the floor having a whole tantrum and everything like that. But even when he was having a tantrum, he wasn't even saying anything about his girl. He was talking about him. He was talking about his life. He was talking about, I should never have done this. Oh my God, my life is over. He was on the floor just rolling around about him. He has not once shown any concern about the said girlfriend, but then you try to make it seem like you was concerned and caring by holding her after she shot herself, but not rendering aid. and not making sure that the wound, will stop bleeding, like you can put pressure on it or get an ambulance there as quickly as possible. None of that came to mind. None of that. It's insane. Let's go on.
Give me just a second. Let me check in.
I need to use the restroom again.
Yeah.
If I get a chance.
Yep.
Well, he's gonna go to a different jail. They don't go to the same jail as General
See me use the
Pop.
restroom? Well, the same way we're gonna lie.
No remorse. Yeah, a John Wick movie, exactly.
What's up, man? Hey, you told me I guess it said you wanted to call your dad or
No
something like
warning at
that.
all.
Did you get the number out of my phone?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming I'm going to jail.
I don't know anything about the case. So the detective just said, hey, let him call his dad.
Maybe. So he picks up. What exactly am I telling him or asking him?
The detective just said, hey, he was asking to call his dad. Let him call his dad. I'm like, okay.
I need to know what to tell.
Yeah. I can get the detective back in if you want it.
You know?
Yep. Give me a second. All right, Dale.
He was the one who kept on requesting to speak to his father and for him to get to call his dad. And now when they give him his phone for him to call his dad, he doesn't know what he needs to call him for. You kept on saying, I need to call my dad. I need to call my parents. I guess because you said you wanted to make arrangements. But now all of a sudden you don't even know why you need to call your dad. I find that very weird. This is becoming weirder and weirder as we go along. And I know it's a little dry because this is an actual full police interrogation. So it's not like a real like cut and snip to only the good stuff or the juicy stuff. This is the actual full blown interrogation video. So there is a lot of dry points in the video. So we're almost done. We don't have that far, that long to go. Just hope you enjoy as much as possible.
So you're gonna take pictures of you. I gotta get your clothes. This is what we got, right?
I'm just gonna do some overalls, and then I'm gonna need you to do your, front and back hands things. I'll tell you as I go. For right now, we're gonna start this way. Hand up, please. Yeah. Rotate. Okay. And then turn around.
Thank you, Brucey.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna, if you don't mind, grab a little buckle. And wide, and I'm just gonna get the sides of your cheeks and things like that. Not doing anything crazy like curves and stuff. Nothing weird. No motion.
One of them going in?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're in their separated containers, so it's fine. And then this one, if you don't mind, I'm gonna swab your fingernails really quick. Just get that stuff off your cuticles.
Thank you, Flower. I appreciate you. Yeah, they're checking for everything. They're gonna check if they have any of her skin cells, DNA on him, scratches. They're looking for scratches, anything that shows that she might have put up a fight. Was there some like altercation or something like that?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom to change.
We're gonna do it in here.
And then, but the
I know
residue,
it's
the gun
not
residue
the
will
most comfortable
automatically let you know that she didn't unalive herself.
Anything else for me?
No, man, you're good to go. So, well, I'll kind of just stand right here. Just not trying to invade your privacy or anything. Okay. You just throw them on the ground and we'll.
Yeah, I really don't have a motive. So I'm thinking he's not gonna get nothing more than maybe second degree.
So,
Because I still haven't figured out a motive.
Are you gonna keep the blanket in and warm it up?
I don't even know where that came from. I'm just gonna.
One of the patrol guys gave it to me because it was so cold in here.
I got you. You're gonna be arrested for manslaughter. Okay.
I figured out.
So a couple other things have to happen. A couple of the guys from the SO are coming up this way. I don't know who, but to talk to you about stuff, I suppose. So they should be here shortly, from what I've been told. And then we're doing everything we can on our end for how it proceeds, further on down the road. All right. You have any questions for me?
Is there, if I send my dad to my house,
It is, isn't
still
it?
locked down, crime scene and everything?
We still have people there.
Hey Don,
so
how you doing?
the way that I understand it and kind of what we've agreed upon at this point is when we are done, we're securing the house with keys. We're bringing keys here.
Okay.
Between however you want to handle that as far as how keys get to wherever they go for the purposes of your house is completely up to you. But but when we're done, we're just going to lock it up. And we're going to secure everything, okay?
Can I take my phone to the jail with me, or are y'all keeping it?
I don't think I'm taking your phone.
Okay.
So your phone is going to be at the house. So whoever you give permission to.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah. Whoever you give permission to, that's where the phone's going to be.
Well, my parents can get in and out of my house as this without keys.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. Yeah. Let me get that officer in here real quick. We'll try and call your pops one time.
It got some funky colors on that clothes. It's striped, like the top is yellow and then the pants is orange. Like,
Put some shackles on there. How does this ground composition?
hey Victoria, so he shot his girlfriend.
Probably a little cold. That's all good. Everything else is a little cold. I mean, switch up.
If you can put on the chair, that way stretch it too much. Let me lock it real quick, that way it doesn't pinch you. And then if you can just switch these real quick, that way I can lock the other one.
And can I call my dad one more time?
Yeah.
Not zebra gun.
Keep that in, sir.
Can I text him? To try to pick up?
You want to leave a message?
Or can I? Do you have a pen? Can I write his number down on my hand?
I'll write.
Or write it down on a piece of paper. Okay, that'll work. You go, brother. Can I use the restroom? You can take. Same one we've been going to? Yeah, you're going back in. All right, brother. So I'm going to Shackleville. Sam is with it, just want me first.
He's nervous. Not nom.
Leslie Boileau was dismissed from the Marion County Sheriff's Department. He is currently being held in the Marion County Jail as he awaits trial.
So that one was a very interesting one because we actually just saw a full interrogation. It wasn't all like the whistles and blows. We didn't figure out a motive, but I do know that there was more to it. Now, whether or not if it's we know that he's getting charged negligence, manslaughter, pretty much not handling the weapon correctly and stuff like that. But me personally, from the things that I heard from his story, I'm still looking for a motive. Hopefully, I'll find one, eventually by looking back on this, since this is current, not that long ago. So it's still kind of current. But yeah, I didn't really get anything outside of why, all I've just seen he was just being reckless, right? They were drinking, all this stuff like that. So it's just weird. It's just really weird to me. Hold on, my baby coming downstairs. He want to get some stuff, so I gotta keep the camera off. Can't expose my baby. Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed that extra bonus case. I truly appreciate all of you rocking out with me. Everybody who came in to say hi, show love, especially show love is the Brooklyn way. Appreciate every single last one of you. I will not be back. I'll try to be back tomorrow, just because tomorrow will actually be like the last time I can actually give you something until I figure things out, because I'm going back on to work. So I'll give you a notification if I can come back tomorrow. I'll give you that notification. But other than that, I appreciate all of you guys. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your evening. My baby want to eat something now, and he's giving me that look. He's giving me that look like, mommy, it's time for you to get your ass in this kitchen and cook. So I am on the job. I will talk to you guys later, guys. I love y'all. Y'all take care of yourself. And like I said, I'll put out the notification when I have the next couple of cases coming up. Talk to you later, guys. Take care.